What up? What up? All right, what up, HVAC people? What up, HVAC people? All right, we got a special show tonight and a special guest tonight. We're gonna talk about everything union. So, hey, before I bring Brandon on, Brandon has almost 15 plus years in the HVAC trade. But before we get him on, we're gonna do some housekeeping. Last week winner on the giveaway, where you at, man? I need to send you your top tees, your anemometer. You won, but you got to get your anemometer. Also, doing this show, we're gonna do some more giveaways. I'm gonna give another one of these anemometer meters away. So y'all stay tuned for that. And in the comment section, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the comment if you want to win this anemometer meter for this show. In the comment section, type in union. So we're gonna speak about everything union today. So, like I say, in the comments section, I'm gonna put it as a banner. Type in union for a chance to win an anemometer by Top Peas. All right, so type in. That ain't how you spell union. Type in union. Oh, it just looks funny. All right, type in union for a chance to win an anemometer by Top Tees. All right. All right, everyone. So I am WWHVAC. This channel is dedicated to the HVAC trade, and everyone in this industry is welcome to join in on the conversation. We're gonna be having live interviews with industry professionals, giveaways, and most important, provide value content to everyone involved in the HVAC industry, whether you're a homeowner, business owner, or just a professional HVAC technician. Our goal is to provide you with content to help you succeed. All right, so join us on these conversations right here. So, like I say, we're going to be interviewing Brandon today. So we're going to be asking him a lot of questions, and at the end of the show, if y'all have any questions about joining the union, please do so. Hey, Brandon, let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know in the comment section. Can you hear me? All right. Let me know if y'all can hear me in the comment section. Hey, Brandon, can you hear me? You nod your head? Okay. All right. So like I say, we're going to get into it. We're going to get into everything union. I know a lot of y'all be asking me, what is the union? So we got the guy that has over a decade worth of experience in the union. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and bring on Brandon.
Yeah, what's going on, HVAC people?
All right. So I'm excited to introduce our guest, Brandon, an HVAC technician working with the union. Brandon has been in the trade for over 15 years and has incredible wealth of knowledge and experience to share. He'll be discussing his journey as a union HVAC technician, and he got a surprise for us at the end of the show also. The challenge he has faced and the rewards of working with the union. So please help me join Brandon to the show.
Hey, what's going on, HVAC people? What's going on, Walter?
All right, what's going on, Brandon? Man, good to have you on the show, brother. Man, I
I
know you got a
appreciate you for having me.
wealth of knowledge to just share with
Hey,
you.
man, if I could just touch one person, man, try to lead them in the direction, give them encouragement. I think I've done my due diligence here. So
Yes, sir. We on
hopefully we
the
can do
same
that
page.
today.
Yeah, we on the same page, man.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what we here for, to add value.
yes, sir.
Add value to the community. Let me see, man. I want to start off. I mean, we can get right into the questions. But first, so since you got experience with the union, man, I don't know much at all about the union. Only thing
Right.
I know about the union, little known fact about me, I worked for the labor union at one time.
Okay.
And the labor union, of course, the labor union, you don't really have to have a skill or knowledge of any trade or anything, man. So I
Right.
just remember, if you work for the labor union, you pick up behind the tradesman. So we was
Mm-hmm.
picking up behind the HVAC technicians. We were picking up behind the electrical. and the plumbers and stuff like that, man. I
Yeah,
remember, man, and that was one of the best jobs I had. But of course, we was the low end of the totem pole. But I remember
right,
looking at
right.
those guys like, man, I wish I can get, on that side.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
did help me get in on the labor union. But man, I used to envy y'all guys, man. I was like, man, if I could just be a pipe fitter, if I could just be an installation or electrician, man, y'all got it
Yeah,
made. But
yeah, that's kind of how I got here too as well, just admiring people. But we'll get into that a little bit more of how, how everything happened and how everything transpired. But I was in the same boat. I wasn't with like a labor company, but it's just me doing the job I was doing at that time. I just saw people working on that. I thought it was pretty cool. So yeah, it's that's pretty
okay,
cool,
cool,
man.
cool, cool, cool. And like I say, y'all, if I will be giving out an anemometer, meter, and last week winner. If you joining the live screen, email me at Washington Cooling 713 at gmail.com so I can mail you your top tees meter last week winner. Um, and I'm gonna do the same. I don't know. You should have my email address, but I have to look at the live screen. So even if you, I'm gonna hold on to it for you. So even if you're viewing this at a later date, contact with me, man. I'm gonna hold on to it, and so you can get your anemometer meter. And like I say, type in union into the comment section if y'all want a chance to win. Hold on, let me get this. Let me get this set up. Let me get this set up real quick. Bear with me, Brandon. Bear with me
All right.
real quick. Screen yard giveaway. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and get this set up right now, y'all. Type in union for a chance to win an anemometer. All right, we got one entry so far. And hopefully we can get this up to at least 50 likes. Y'all get this up to 50 likes. And I'm gonna try to hold these live screens within like an hour and a half. But Brandon say he ain't really got no time limit, but we do want to be courteous of his time also. So I want to try to hold these live screens hour and a half. But remember, type in union. We got 3 entries so far. Type in union for a chance to win an anemometer meter. And real quick, also Jobber has a Jobber Summit March 1st. March 1st, man. I'm gonna leave everything in the description. All y'all inspiring business owners, y'all need to be at this event right here. It's a free event. It's a free online event. They're gonna have a morning session and an evening session to kind of fit y'all time or whatever. So remember to sign up for the Jobber Summit March 1st. I will be leaving the link in the description. All right, Brandon, my bad about that, man.
Oh, you good?
Let's see, man. My first question, man. Can you see the question on the screen?
Yeah.
How did you get interested in HVAC? What sparked your interest? What kind of how did you find out about HVAC? And how did you kind of know HVAC was even a thing?
Yeah. So, growing up as a kid, you used to play in the backyard, and when you play in the backyard, you're playing touch foot, tackle football or whatever. So you used to go over and sit on top of the condenser, and cool yourself off. So it was like cool air. I never knew it was hot air or anything. We were sweating. It was blowing out air, so it was cool. So back then, I never knew. So, and coming up in school, I was really good with math. So my thing was, I was going to be an accountant. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to be an accountant. I was going to go to college, be an accountant. But one day it was like, man, I don't want to be at an everyday desk job. That's just not me. I like being outside. I like working with my hands. So ironically enough, I was getting ready to go to school one day, and I saw this commercial for want to be an HVAC tech. I'm like, HVAC tech? What do you mean by that? So they started showing a guy working on the AC unit and stuff like that. I was like, man, that's what I want to do. So this was my senior year in high school when I was already, getting um, college offer for different stuff like culinary arts. I wanted to do that, be a chef. So I
Mm.
had a full ride to that school. So, but I said, man, I just want to be an HVAC technician. That's something I want to do. I want to work with my hands. So I went to a technical school and in Atlanta, and I just got it there. So basically, to answer your question, long story short, I got interested by a commercial. Basically, yeah, I mean, it's
Wow.
cliche as that may sound, but I just saw a commercial. I'm like, man, I would love to do that. Seemed like a pretty cool job. So I I signed up for a technical school. 2 years later, I graduated. And here
Wow.
I am today.
All right, there you have it. So, if anybody out there listening and you trying to get more people in the trades, shoot a commercial.
Yeah, it worked for me. It got me hooked.
Okay, so my next question: what led you to pursue a career? Just go full fledged and actually pursue the career in HVAC.
Well, when I graduated, man, well, when I was in school, like, you have some students that just there, they were trying to collect a check from the school, from government stuff like that. But it was certain guys that was in there that was actually serious about it. So, and luckily me, I was like one of the top students in my class. So I always took it serious. Like once I put my mind to something, I kind of go all in. Like I have like tunnel vision. So
Yeah,
luckily,
how old were you around this time?
I was 18.
Wow,
At 18, I had just graduated high school. So
wow,
I took like so I had
you
missed the enrollment time to get into tech school because it was kind of like I said, I already had set up for schools, other schools, but I kind of missed the enrollment to get into the class. So I had to sit out like I think 6 months. So I was right about to get ready to turn 19 or 19 when I started school. But I knew I wanted to do it at 18. And go ahead.
man. No, let me give you applause, man, for actually, yeah, man, for actually, doing something, sticking with it.
Right, right,
You,
right.
you actually pursued a career and stuck with it.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know how many guys, I maybe say like it was 30 guys in our class, maybe 20 to 30 guys in our class. I maybe can say one other person,
Still doing it
maybe
now.
that's doing it. That's just me guessing how serious he was then, but I
Oh,
don't know.
oh,
So
no,
everybody else is there.
I said that once before. This a numbers game, man. Now you about
Yeah,
right. You look around. So all the technicians out there, y'all, well, inspiring to be technician. You in class right now. Look around to the person to the left and to your right. 'Cause they probably won't be there with
correct,
you 10, 15
correct,
years from now.
correct. Yeah, you can't leech on everybody, man. I know, you have friends in class, but you got to focus on you. You can try to find that one that can kind of push each other. But luckily, my brother was going through. He was a year ahead of me, so he tried to be like the example for me, which he don't do anything HVAC, but he graduated for HVAC. So he tried to be that, that encouragement for me. So I appreciate my brother doing that. I just recently found that out that he actually decided to do HVAC because we both were going to do accounting. He decided
Mm,
to do HVAC to try to be an influence on me to make sure I'm doing it. And my mom just told me that when I was talking to her like maybe 3 weeks ago, and I just really found that out. So that was a pretty cool thing. I never knew that. He never said it.
wow.
But that was just something. So
Yeah. Shout out to your brother, man.
yeah.
So after school, so you got a job in HVAC. Did you start out with the union or you just started out? What was your first job in HVAC after you graduated?
So long story short, I started out in 2009, 2008, 2008, at the end of towards 2008. Um, I used to do security at a mall down in Atlanta in Midtown, and we used to have to escort guys around that do HVAC and plumbing and all different type of stuff so we could let into the room. So whenever we saw guys like doing HVAC, I always asked questions because I was interested. Like, hey man, it was during the time of recession, so at that time everybody's like, you got to have 5 years of experience, because we just can't really afford to train anybody. So I was asking around, and one guy said, maybe call the owner of the company, which is a small mom and pop shop, which I mean, that's a whole different story for another day. But I called him and I was like, hey man, listen, I'm just looking for an opportunity to get in the door. I'm literally graduating in 2 weeks from trade school, technical school, I'm sorry. And I'm just looking for a job. So he was like, hey, come in and have an interview. So that next week I went and had an interview and he decided to take a shot on me. So a shot with me. So I started with him, and all I was doing just maintenance. I didn't know anything how to do a maintenance, so they basically showed me how to do a maintenance. They like 2 days, like here you go. This is what we want you to do for maintenance. Put your gauges on, check, change filters. So I did that. He did a bunch of restaurants. So we had like over 150 restaurants. So in my own personal car, he not paying my gas. I'm not making that much money. I'm just a struggling student at the time. I'm putting hoses and cleaners in the back of my trunk. Back then, you're young, you have speakers in your car, you got chemicals eating up on my stuff. So the long story short, I got started with a mom and pop shop, and I worked with him for like 2 to 3 years, and until that whole turmoil just kind of happened, and we'll go from there. That was my first job. It was non-union at a small
Okay.
mom and pop shop.
Okay. With that being said, so this show is all about union. Like I said, 'cause you got over a decade of union experience.
Correct.
So, what is a union? Just starting out, what is a union, and specifically, uh, HVAC union?
So it's called United Association. So United Association is one big branch of different fields. So you talk about anywhere from like steam fitters, plumbers, welders, pipe fitters, what we call it. It's just a whole variety of skill trades that they have. So, say for instance, Houston may have like two or three of them. So we have local 211, which take care of all the plumbing, HVAC, and pipe fitting. So that's like all your welding and stuff like that. And then we have a lineman local that we actually take care of as far as cooling stuff. They do all electrical. So your power line that you see outside, your transformer when you go down, those are the guys that go out and do that. So
And
United
what's the name of
Association.
that one? So you say HVAC and plumbers, and you named another one, pipe fitters.
Yeah, so it's
All of those be under the local
Look,
211.
211. Yeah, so
What-
that's going to be pipe fitting, HVAC, and plumbing. So those three are going to be on the local 211.
So if anybody interested in the union side of as far as HVAC, they will have to look up local 211.
Yeah, well, that's only for Texas. So there's a
That's in
union
Texas.
in pretty much all 50 states almost. So you have to look up HVAC uh, union. That's what I did when I first got in, trying to find out what it is.
Mhm.
Just type in HVAC. That's how I found local 211 when I moved from Atlanta to Houston.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's how I find out. So just Google HVAC local in your area, and it'll tell you if y'all have one that carries the HVAC. It will say that, and then you can just go from there.
Okay. Okay. Well, I cut you short. Can you kind of expound on what's the union? Continue.
Yeah. So this is just it's a united association that they invest in people like you and I, and they send you to schooling, which as me as a journeyman, I pay back into the school. So it's free schooling as long as you maintain, at least from my union. Every union is different. So I'm just going, which I came out of local 72 out of Atlanta. If there's anybody and that's in Atlanta that's interested in a union, I can answer you more detailed questions about how I did it and how I came up with Local 72 in out of Atlanta, Georgia. So
So like every state is different, or every like
every
region.
now every state is just pretty much different as far as like how you get in, but the overall brotherhood, the whole overall ruling is the same. But how they run their stuff, how you get in, how you apply, everybody's different, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But as far as the whole schooling and stuff, they have the same structure. Like all the teachers go once a year to a state, and they have like this teacher conference. So they constantly involve in new technologies. You have hands-on experience, and while you're going to school with the union, which is a 5-year schooling, it's free of charge, long as you maintain a B average, at least from Atlanta standpoint. Local 211, I know it's the same thing. As long as you maintain a certain average, you don't have to pay for your books. As far as paying for schooling, it's no money whatsoever out of your pocket. The only thing you have to pay is like for your applications and books if you don't succeed, but you have to maintain like a C average.
So what's the structure of the schools though? Do you just find a program and tell your foreman, hey, I want to the president of the union, you want to
Yeah,
join this
so
class or this school, or you want to how does
correct.
that work?
So when you go and apply, they ask you like, what do you want to do? I think it's like when I went back in 2012 to sign up. There's like three boxes. They ask you what you want to do. At that time, the industry wasn't as booming, so it's kind of hard to get into HVAC side. So you literally have to start as a pipe fitter or a plumber or pretty much a pipe fitter. So then after you get 2 years, because the first 2 years in Atlanta, everybody takes the same class no matter what you're taking. It's like math and learn how to use a tape measure, things of that nature. And then after your second year, if you work for an HVAC company, the owner of that company had to sign off and say, hey, he can come and join the HVAC side. So it was a little bit stricter back then to get into HVAC. I had the schooling already and I had already worked for a company. So I didn't have to go through that process. I started out as an HVAC guy when I first got in. So you go and you apply. As far as Atlanta, I had to take what they call a Georgia Work Ready test. It's an outside test, just basically reading from knowledge, reading information, and math. So you had to get a certain score on those in order to get into the union. So in 2012, I took the math, the reading, and the two readings, and you had to have a 5 in math. I had a 4. So I had to retake the test. I retook the test, and I got a 5. But I had missed the deadline by 1 day to start by the same class. So I had to wait a whole nother year, but I was still working for a company though. I just wasn't getting the set pay rates, which we'll get into later. I wasn't getting that paid. I was just basically getting paid as a helper, which was like $10 an hour, but I didn't care. I was just trying to get my feet in the door.
Right.
So at that time, so that's what you do. And then, the structure of the schooling is, so when I first started, I had to pay $530 out the front up front to buy my books. Now you don't have to do that. They kind of cover that cost up front now for you, at least for Atlanta. I can't speak to every state, but for at least for Atlanta, I had to pay $530 to get my books, and then I would go to school. I'll work during the day. They find your job once you. Okay, let me go back a little bit.
Mhm.
So as far as getting into the union, you have to go once you pass all that external test that I was telling you about. You have to go through an interview process. An interview process with the board of that, which is like certain contractors, owners, like business owners. They sit in the board. You go through one by one. I mean, you got a long table with like 20 guys, and you at the head of the table. Everybody eyes on you. So they interview to try to weed out any bad influence that put a bad name on the union, things of that nature. So you do the interview, and they tell you, they'll mail you a letter saying if you got in, or we respectfully decline you to join the union at this time. So I did the interview. Everybody seemed to like me. And funny story about that is, um, it was the owner of the company that I work for was in the opposite side of me, and we did an interview. The very next day, I got a phone call with a job offer. That doesn't happen. It used to take 2 weeks, 3 weeks for anybody to say, we want you to come in, or you approve for the union or anything like that. I got a call the very next day, saying that offer. He said he wanted to get me before anybody else had the opportunity to get me. So that was. I'm not trying to big myself up or anything. I
No,
I,
it's
I
good,
think
man.
I do pretty good in interviews and whatever.
Hmm.
But he offered me a job, so that was a blessing. In that case, at the job I was working at, I was pretty cool with my supervisors. They wanted to do an interview with the company, actual company, with the service manager. So they let me, while I was on the clock, go and have lunch. I mean, breakfast up the street, and do like a additional meet and greet with the service manager, see how he feel about me and things of that nature. So I don't know if that's kind of like off topic, but the schooling is you go to school. Once you get in, you go to school twice a week for 5 years. So it can be Monday and Wednesday, or Tuesday and Thursday. And you go to school and you do your first year apprentice. And they, like I said, they find you work. So you go to work during the day, and you go to school at night from 3:30 to 8:30, every day. So,
Wow.
well,
Twice
every
a week
Monday and
for five
Wednesday
years.
for 5 years. That 5 years, it was when I was going through it. And let me pause, man. Like, my wife, I have to give her like the biggest up ever. So we high school sweetheart. We've been together going on 17 years total. Married 5 years coming this February. So she's been with me from like literally no money, like breaking down, having to walk home to where we are right now. So she stuck with me through thick and thin. So I really have to give her a point. You seeing the guy that you're seeing now, mainly because of her. She taught me how to be a man,
Yeah.
how to do certain things as a husband, as a father. I mean, I'm not a father just yet, but as a future father and as a brother and son
Yeah.
and things of that nature.
Shout out to the wife, man. Shout out to the
Yeah,
wife for
yeah.
sure.
So yeah, so yeah, in just I want everybody to get an understanding of what it is. You do go through the interview process. 2 to 3 weeks later, you get approved to get in, and then they'll tell you when you start school. In Atlanta, the school will go from like September all the way up to May every month, every Monday and Wednesday, or Tuesday and Thursday from 3:30. Or I'm sorry, from like 3:30 to 8:30, and now I think it's like 5:30 to 8:30. So they shortened it a little bit, but the class is a little bit, the school year is a little bit longer now, I believe. So
Okay.
that's how the union goes.
Okay. So my thing is, like I said, I don't know too much about the union, but all I hear like journeymen, apprentices. Can you explain what are the
Yeah,
different
yeah.
tiers of and when you explain the tiers, can somewhere you can put up in there where let's just say if I did never join the union, but I did have I worked for some companies maybe about 10 years, 8 years.
Yeah.
So I got to start from the bottom. Can you kind
No,
of tie that into it, or how can I get
yeah.
some of my
So
experience in
I'll
this?
answer that question first. So say for instance, like you and I, we got, a decent amount of period of skills or work experience, so to speak. So you would go into the union and you say, "Hey, I want to apply to get in." They're going to ask you if you have any experience in HVAC. You say, "Yes, I've been doing it for," in my case, right at 15 years. So I would say they would say, "Oh, okay, well, you can test in." So they give you a test, and everybody's different. Like local 211 here in Houston, they have their own test um, that they give you. Like they created their own. So Atlanta, I'm not sure if it's the same now, but they have a UA test, which is broad to everybody. So anybody in any state, although we don't do geothermal or anything like that, that's more so up north, and boilers and stuff. That's more so up north, but all that is on there. So based on your scoring that you get, they say, hey, okay, you can either go straight to a journeyman, or we want to put you a first year, or we can put you in third year, or we can put you in fifth year. So does that kind of explain that process of how they work? Basically, you got to take a test. You testing
Mhm.
in.
Okay.
They give you a test. Like my coworker, he just came in. He's been with the company I work for now for about I think 2 years almost, and he just recently tested in. He was getting paid as a tradesman. So if you have a certain amount of years, you can be a tradesman. You're not a journeyman, but you're a tradesman, and there's a certain pay. We'll get into the pay. I kind of give you an example of how the pay is. But you can be, like I said, if you don't test in, you can be a tradesman for a certain amount of time until you
Mm.
test in, and then
So
once you go in,
so just far as testing in, is this on a scale of 1 through 100? And let's just say what 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 the percentage of the of a score that you gotta, you know,
so I can't really give you that answer because I don't know how the scoring process worked. Like I
Mhm.
never had to. I went through the whole 5 years. So I literally started over. Although I had
Right.
school, I could have tested in, but I just started from square one, like basic, like I don't know anything.
Mhm.
So I don't know how the scoring was, but I can ask the buddy of mine, my coworker, I can ask him how it works. I mean, he has more experience on that because he just did it. So I think they just it's a
So your
scoring
buddy
system.
just took the test?
Yeah, he just took a test and maybe early this year, maybe like May, June,
Mhm.
somewhere, just to become a
Did he
journeyman.
say how difficult it was? 'Cause I know some of those tests can be difficult.
Yes.
Um, even some employees test this far as commercial. A lot of time when they hire us, they want us to kind of see where we at and take these tests. And
Yeah,
I hardly ever do well on those tests.
yeah, yeah. So
Somewhere
he
like
said it was
70.
pretty,
Mhm.
yeah. So he said it was pretty simple. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off as
No, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
well. So he said it was pretty straightforward for the
Mhm.
most part. If you know HVAC, you should be fine. What he struggled with, and I think the question that he said he only missed was the chillers because he don't work on chillers at all. So he didn't know anything about chillers. So he came from like the resort facility. So he always worked on refrigeration equipment, HVAC equipment that he had. But they was all kind of in-house. I think he worked for a certain company that we know here that we see driving around here in Houston. So he worked for a company here, and then he came over to the union. A lot of people, we have a lot of people, like I say, the last maybe 6 guys that we hired at the company I work for now, they all came from non-union, and they all came in.
And they
So
all had the test.
they all had to test in, yeah.
Okay.
So some of them, they
So, so,
like we
so
have
there's no way
apprentices and
around
things like
that
that.
test though. They don't go by none of your W-2s or your resume. You got to test in if
No, you got to
if
test
you want a
in,
certain pay.
yeah.
So you have to
Yeah,
start
because
from
I
the bottom
mean,
pretty much.
not to be shady or anything, like you can be in the industry for a long time, but you was just kind of like filter changers almost.
Hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Just because you work for an HVAC company, you may never did anything HVAC related. You probably just go in what we used to call it in Atlanta, and no disrespect to anybody that do it, get it how you get it, but we call it glorified changers. So that's what we kind of called those guys that just did maintenance and things of that nature. Which I was that same guy. That's all I did. I didn't do anything else. I never go and troubleshoot it. The units. I was a glorified filter changer. That's all I was. So you have to test in. There's no way around it unless
Okay.
you just transfer them from another union and you already a journeyman. Say like
Hmm.
for me, I transferred from Atlanta to Houston, and they tried to give me the test. I was like, well, no, I'm already a journeyman. I already tested out, and I had to take a harder test. So the test I was referring to earlier, as far as like the whole broad, like no matter where you at, the UA test, which is way harder, way harder.
Okay.
I got an 86 on it. I don't know how. I thank God, and I ain't talking about it. But yeah, so that's a lot of hard, like geothermals, boilers. We did little boilers there, but they do a lot of steam up there. I had one hotel I took care of with steam, but I wasn't familiar with it. So it's things in that nature, but there's no way around to answer that question.
Okay. Okay.
And
Um, well, can you just explain the different tiers then?
okay, so with you have a apprenticeship. So you go through your apprenticeship, and there's your first year, second year, third year, fourth year, or fifth year apprentice. First year, you just basically learn how to read a tape measure, um, and just learn how to do pipe measurements, math calculation. It's a lot of math and in our industry. So you go through that and just basically learning how basic schematic work. Getting familiar with schematics. Your second year, you get a little bit more intel. So you're actually wiring up stuff. So our school was pretty cool, which they got a whole new center, like warehouse. We had like the tail end of the old warehouse, but they have a board with all schematics, like wiring in like a contactor, just basic controls of a unit. And they'll go in, they'll take everything out, and they'll tell you, based on this schematic that I give you, wire this up. So you have to wire your thermostat up, energizing the heat pump and things of that nature. And you have to go through that. So your second year, you more so it's 90% um like basic electricity, like just getting familiar how to read a schematic and things of that nature. So that's pretty much the second year. Your third year, that's when you start to get more intel. That's when you come back and you ask a more legit question like, hey, we doing this, we doing this chiller tear down, or we doing this compressor replacement, or we doing something. So that's when you start to get more intel. um
Yeah, I like that
so
though. It sounds like they grooming you. They don't
yeah,
just
yeah,
they're not just
yeah.
throwing you out to the wolves.
Yeah, so we had a guy that he didn't know what a pair of channel lock was, and he's like, he's account manager at ours. And when I say account manager, like you had to go out and quote these projects, so you got to know of industry. So not knowing what a pair of channel lock to get to where he is, that's just you going through the school. So you get not only you get the school training, you get the on the job training. So you working with a journeyman while you're working. So each apprenticeship, the more you get, so your first and second year, you never by yourself. You always with somebody, and you working with somebody else. Your third year, so lucky for me, I had experience. So my second year, in my second year, I started taking on call at the company I was at, because depending on how fast you learn, and they slowly start sending you out to different calls. But that's neither here nor there. But your third year, you start to get, more in the weeds of things. You come back with questions because you're starting to do jobs on your own. And if you get stuck on something, you come and ask your teacher. Your teacher will go over it. So because everybody else they'll be curious too as well. So you start getting into the weeds of things. You actually go out in the shop, you working on pumps and things of that nature, water source heat pump. That's when you get introduced to that because that was kind of big in Atlanta, water source heat pumps. So you start getting introduced to a lot of those. Your fourth and fifth year, that's when you like, okay, we're gonna do this. So fourth and fifth year, um, you're going out and you actually working on units. They'll go out and they'll put bugs on units and tell you go out and fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like your fourth year. Your fifth year, you pretty much learning how to align pumps. Like we're talking about mainly with your chain and your dials and all that thing. So you have to do that in order to. That's one of your tests to turn out. You have to let her go there. They will go and they'll put bugs on the units and stuff like that. You have to go out and figure it out whether it's heat or cooling. And then you have to go and align the pump. They're going to just spread the pump apart, take the shims out and everything. You have to go back in. So let me go back a little bit. I skipped the part, and I'm
I
gonna
say that
try to
sounds
keep up
fun to
on.
me.
Yeah. So you got a whole warehouse. So it's fun. It's a lot of hands on. Either way. But your first and second year, you actually going outside and you learn how to braise. I forgot to give that part. Your first and second year, you're gonna go out and you're gonna learn how to braise. I did a little welding, just because HVAC we kind of do all of. We kind of do plumbing and pipe fitting because we run pipe and stuff like that too as well. So you learn how to braid, solder, and things of that nature. So that's your first and second year, and you have to do that, of course, to turn out too as well. So your fourth and fifth year is when you get your meat and your meat and bread, meat and, however you want to say it. That's
Mhm.
the ace boon coon of it. That's when you learn the most. Yeah, I would say third through fourth. I mean, third through the fifth year. That's when you learn the most. So your first and second year, you're just gonna be, with somebody all the time, unless your second year they may cut you loose if they're busy. They may cut you loose to go run a service call here, but you're talking about like a leaking unit or something like that. It's nothing major. But like for me, with the experience and showing my supervisors that I can do a little bit more, like I said, towards the end of my second year, you go on call. So usually your third and fourth year, towards the end of your third year, you go on call. So there's a select group of guys that was going on call that second year. So to summarize everything, you have 5 years of schooling. You have a first year apprentice, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year apprentice, and then you take your turnout test. Your turnout test, and like I said, in mine, I had to take the big UA test that a lot of people take across the world. No matter if you're down south or up north, you taking the same test as everybody else. So you
Mhm.
take that test, and based on your score, you have to get, I think, a 72 or something in order to pass. I got an 86 on mine. So once that point, you finish school, and then they have a graduation for you, like a mini graduation where a lot of guys, your family come in and they have graduation and you have a diploma. I actually should have grabbed mine so I could show y'all.
Yeah,
Maybe I
that'd be
can
nice.
get my wife to actually grab it for me, and then I can
Okay.
just show you what it looked like. And they give you the certificate, and you're registered in the UA
And
and
what are
things
you?
of that nature.
What are you called when you get that certificate?
You're a journeyman at that
You're a
point.
journeyman now, so you
Yeah,
go.
yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
journeyman there. Yeah, so
So
I'm the highest you're gonna get. I mean, you can become a foreman, but a foreman is like on
okay.
special projects and construction and
So
things
it's
of that
pretty much
nature.
three classes then. Apprentices, first, second,
Apprentices,
third, fourth, and fifth
yeah,
year apprentices. Then you got the
yeah.
journeyman, and you
Then
can
you got a
become a foreman.
foreman, yeah, and then you have like I forgot what they call the head guy that runs the actual projects, but that's more so like pipe fitting side. Those guys are getting the foremen and stuff. Unless you just do construction all the time, you can move up to that.
Hmm.
I think it's a general foreman or something like that. I forgot what they call it. Maybe we can look it up later on, but
Okay.
um, we'll see that. So yeah, that's the tiers that you go through. Union first through fifth year apprenticeship. Go to school twice a week, Monday and Wednesday, or Tuesday and Thursday, and you become a journeyman. If you don't pass your test, you become a tradesman. That's what I was telling you about. That. So that's in between, the apprentice, and that's between the journeyman. So
Hmm.
you become a journeyman. I mean, I'm sorry, a tradesman, and
Wow.
they pay you a certain rate, and then once you retake your test and or pass the test, then you would jump up to journeyman. So I turned out in May of 2018. So August 1st of 2018, I became a journeyman. That's when I graduated. So August 1st of 2018, I became a journeyman. So I've been a
Okay,
journeyman.
wow.
I have apprentices under me now. I'm the guy that's training apprentices and things of that nature.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right, there y'all have it. So, hey, you got experienced journeyman on the show. So, if y'all have any questions before we get ready to wrap it up, we're gonna go to the comments. So get your questions ready. Like I say, we got 7 entries. Anybody want a chance to win a anemometer by Top Tees? Enter Union for a chance to win this anemometer. And if the guy that won last week, uh, contact me via email so I can mail you your anemometer. But if anybody want a chance to win, like I said, we got 7 entries. Let's get them likes up. We want to try to get at least about 50 likes. But either or, we're going to do a drawing for the chance to win the anemometer by Top Tees. And I do got videos on this to show you how to use it, but it is a great meter to do some quick troubleshooting real quick. Man, I get a lot of this still on topic a little bit. I get a lot of people ask how to get in commercial HVAC. It
Hmm.
sound sound like union. I mean, that's pretty much all y'all do is commercial and
That's pretty
maybe
much all we do.
industrial or something like that. Because I don't think that wouldn't be none for residential, would it?
Yeah, you have some companies that do
Oh yeah.
residential, but the residential we have like grandfather in residential, but we're talking about like $4 million homes. So we're not talking
Mhm.
about small. We're talking about
Right.
geothermal units and
Yeah. Maybe
AEON
chiller.
units and stuff
Right.
like that. So I mean, there's very small companies that do. I think Local 211 they're trying to branch out. Don't quote me on this, but I think they're trying to branch out to start like if you want to bring your company in to do residential, I think they're trying to branch out to the residential field, but we're 99% commercial. So
Okay.
I started
Okay.
out day one in commercial.
Right. Right. So there y'all have it. A lot of people ask how do you get commercial jobs? You might want to look into get into the union to get that commercial experience, and go their
Yeah,
route.
and that's the easiest route. A lot of guys saying how to get started in HVAC, and thank you, honey. So a lot of guys, ask questions, how do I get started? Man, a lot of guys, it's there's a love and hate when it comes to union. I don't know why. I was always skeptical about joining the union when I started because I thought all you do is go on strike. You don't work. When you go on strike, you can't work. So everybody had to shut down. So I just thought it was all this nonsense. I was like, man, I'm never going to do union. It came to the point where I needed a job. I got let go from the mom and pop shop. I just did absolutely dirty at that job. I had quit my security job that I was doing because I was working security job and his job at the same time. So I go to his job from 8 to 4. I mean, sorry, 8 to 2:30, and then from 4 to 12 a.m. I go to my security job. I was just trying to get it by any means. When I say focus, and on top of that, I was going to school at the same time. So
Hmm.
it was crazy, man, and it was a struggle. But I was going to my mom's job, googling HVAC jobs in Atlanta. That's all I did, and I came across a local 72, and they was doing open enrollment. I went to go apply. Look, I mean, unfortunately, I missed it, but God has His timing, so it all worked out for me at the time that I went. So I got into the union. I found out the union. But if anybody trying to get into the union and actually get, worth and get the hands-on experience, man, go
So
union.
that's my so that's segue into this next question right here. What's the benefits of being in a union?
So the good benefits is you get the hands-on training, you get the schooling. You don't have to pay for schooling. Let me say that again. You do not have to pay for schooling whatsoever, unless you're not maintaining your grades. You don't have to pay for your books. We as journeymen, we're paying into the school, which is investing in you because we want to have the guys. We want to have a quality union. The UA has a quality, they have a standard that they tries to nothing but the best guys in the industry. You're gonna pay premium for us, but we have the training to back it up. Our guys go through 5 years of schooling. Our teachers go to these training seminars every year. So there's a lot of stuff that they are investing. They're investing millions of dollars for people like you and I, just so that they can produce like top quality techs. So, and then that is, say for instance, you have health insurance. You don't pay that out of pocket. So, way with pay scalers, we'll get into that. That's all built into your pay scale. So, say for instance, I think like Texas here, if you do local 211, if you do Chile, they look for Chile Tex. So your take home pay, and last time I checked was I think $44 and some change. That's on your take home check. Now, with all your fringes, healthcare, pension, annuity, all that type of stuff, you paying into the school, you probably getting paid like $56 an hour. So that's what your $56 an hour. But out of that, to the $12 that pays for your healthcare, pension, annuity, all that stuff. So they're investing in your pension annuity. So you don't have to think about that. Your take home pay is your take home pay. They take all that out of your check. So you can bring your family on into the insurance if your wife is not working. Like I said, you get the free schooling. That's a benefit within itself. You can't find that nowhere. You can't go to the technical school down the street and say, "Hey, I want to learn HVAC for free." You got to get loans and stuff like that. So that's the biggest benefits. But the knowledge and the friendship, the brotherhood. When they say union is a brotherhood, I have friends of all different type of race, man. Just from the brotherhood. We have this big local softball UA tournament. So I play softball on my free time. That's my getaway. So we have unions from like New York, California, Canada, down south. So everybody comes to this softball tournament, and you just create a brotherhood. Y'all, you if you need some work up there, you could tag team with the work, with the guys up there. They help you out. You can use their tools and stuff. When I say it's a big brotherhood, man, it's a big brotherhood. So far, it's treated me well. Me and my wife have the life that we have, thanks to the union and me learning the things and the relationships that I have. I still have relationships with guys and friends. I can call the guys, the board members, like you can't hardly get in him. I can call them to the day and we're like buddies. They'll answer my call. It's hard to get in touch with them, but it's just the relationship that I built over
Mhm.
time just being in the union. So there's a lot of benefit, and I'm not touching all the benefits. That is, each the union may benefit everybody different, but as far as the overall, you get the same health care, pension, and things in that. So when you retire, and we got guys that's been in the union as long as like 60 years, they get their 60 years. So I get notification like guys been in the years 25 years, 50 years, and then I think they do like 60 years or something like that. So you get pins for when you do that. So it's guys are here to stay, man. It's pretty good.
So is that some separate from like a 401k as far as
Yes.
mhm,
Yeah. Yep. So that's something like pension is like you get that like say for instance I was to leave the union, something like that, I can cash out on that pension or I can just have them to hold it to when I retire.
mhm.
Annuity, that's kind of when you retire and things of that nature. So there's other little things
Yeah,
you can do.
because I know a lot of large scale, whether it be government, a lot of people moving from the pension, but and I know back in the day, a lot of people used to talk about pensions a lot, and so I
Yeah.
think that's a good thing. So
Yeah, they
the
still
local
have it going
union,
around.
y'all still have that going around. That's good.
Yeah. So I think like for every hour you work, I think we can kind of look into it. They have an updated one. So I'm working as a traveler out of a local 72 in Atlanta. So I'm a part of local 72 in Atlanta. So I think they invest like $3.90 per hour that you work, no matter it's overtime, double time, whatever. Every hour that you work, they invest $3.90 per hour
Wow,
into
that's
your
almost
pension.
free money,
Yeah, it's free money.
right?
Yeah, you don't see it coming on your paycheck. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So it's not $44. Then I got to take all this stuff out. It's $56. Just to give an example, $56, and I make $44 on my check. So when you see your check, it says, pay per hour. It's $44 an hour if that's the rate. Not saying that's how much I get paid or anything like that, but that's just giving an example, a ballpark. So
Wow.
your set rate is your set rate. We'll get into that a little bit
Okay.
better. And then another union benefit is if you lose your job or if you get fired, you call in the hall, say, "Hey, I need a job. Give me some contractors," or they'll try to hook up. They know contractor. "Hey, I got a guy looking for a job," and they will set you up with an interview, and you
Yeah.
go from there. So
Yeah.
I don't have to go and try to get it. I can do that
Right.
to try to
Right.
get me a job, but they help you get a job. They literally give you a job.
Yeah. Let's hit home on that right there, if you will, because I do hear that a lot. Just far as I don't really want to call it job security, but um, that's nice that you have some people that's working behind the scenes to
Hmm.
whether you get laid off, you don't really have to go to all these companies yourself and fill out
Correct.
applications. They're working for you to, to
Correct. Correct.
find you some work.
Yeah. Yep. So all the contractors they kind of report they report to the hall like we need such guys, we need this many guys, we need plumbers, we need pipe fitters, things and that. Plumber and pipe fitters are a little bit different, so it's kind of hard to get on like with a steady job when it comes to plumbing and pipe fitters because they mostly do like construction, so they move from job to job. So they may be at one job for 2 years, and then once their job, they got another construction job. But you're going anywhere, you're going everywhere if you want to. You can also travel
Mhm.
outside of your state, and they pay you
Yeah.
per diem and things, and they pay for your stay. So you just basically over there raking up money. So they give you per diem, depending on say if you go to California or something like that, they give you $125 per day for just for going there, right? They're on top of your regular pay, and then they gonna give you more money on top of that to go. So your per diem is whatever you want to do with it. Of course, your
Mm.
check is whatever you want to do that, but your per diem is paying for your food. So you literally going over there, and they're paying you to go and do your job over
Do
there.
y'all do any like offshore work far as the
No,
union? Okay.
no. Well, I can't say in union as far as local 211. I'm pretty sure some guys probably do, some company do, but that's most on an industrial side. So I
Mhm.
haven't went over to the industrial side. Like you talking about your Letos or your Brant. I think Brant is union here. I think I'm not 100% sure, but
Mhm.
companies like that they mostly do like the industrial type thing. So
Right,
that's most
right.
on the industrial side.
Yeah. Just a side note also, I used to work for a company called Waste Service in Houston, Texas.
Yeah, yeah,
We had a union side also.
correct.
I
They
don't know
still
if Waste
around to today. They
Waste,
still
they
around
got their
today.
union side.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they
Yeah,
still got
yeah,
the union
yeah.
side. So
Yeah,
I
like
think somebody else bought it, and now
mhm. Yeah.
they're kind of like because they had a whole bunch of guys at
Oh,
point.
yeah.
Then they were
Mhm.
down to like 5 guys, and now they
Yep.
kind of going back up. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Because I think the owner, he kinda he getting ready to retire, and he just leaving, he leaving the company to his kids, so he kinda
mhm.
downsized, and they still have Waste Services. But I think it's his, like I say, his children running that part of it. So,
Yeah, yeah,
so
they still around though.
he probably sold it off.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. I like to say we can go in on benefits a lot because I know it's a lot
Yeah,
more
yeah,
benefits.
yeah.
But
It's a lot more in detail, but I wanted to show you. My wife brought down my certificate really quick.
okay,
So
I'll go back to that.
here's
That's 10.
like mechanical trades.
Mhm.
Mechanical Trades Institute. It's called Joint Apprenticeship and Training Trust. So MTT. That's what we call it. So here's my certificate or whatever. So I'm gonna just show you one of them at a time. Sorry. It's a little glare, but
Mhm.
so that's a completion like HVACR, that's by the state and things of that nature. And then that's the Mechanical Trade Institute. That's my like diploma or whatever. So I'm a journeyman mechanical service, and you see that August 1st, 2018, and that's recognized by the state, the U.S. Department of Labor, right there. So I mean, it's everything legit there, and I mean, it was the best decision that I've had. I've learned the most. I made the most friendship
Yeah,
from that.
yeah. No,
So
congratulations, man. You did that.
appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Mhm. Congratulations. Like I say, so
Appreciate
those,
it.
those are the tiers, y'all. And he shared some benefits. What are some challenges? What are some challenges of that you hear? Well, from your experience, what are some challenges? Being with the union.
So I wouldn't necessarily say challenge being with the union. It's more so, the guys that you work with. You have some guys that's old school that don't want to train anybody. You're gonna have guys that don't think you are gonna make it. I've had two guys that went behind my back and told my supervisor, "I'm not gonna make it in this industry." I mean, it's just like because I didn't know how to use a certain tool. I never knew what a bandsaw was, so
Mhm.
how you expect me to use a bandsaw? I'm 6'4", and you showing me the improper way at that first, show how to use it. But I had two guys that said I wasn't gonna make it in this industry, and where I'm at now, I'm still like one of the top techs at the old company that I'm at. From what I hear, that they're still trying to replace my seat and things of that nature. So that's one of the challenges, man. You have some guys that's willing to pour into the apprenticeships and teach them how to do it. And you have some guys where they just go and fix it and they on to the next job. You like, wait, hold on.
Hmm.
Like what you just do, like show me what you do. I'm trying to learn here. So that's the biggest challenge. You got to find the guys, find your guy when you get into it, find that guy that's going to invest in you, that's going to teach you the way around the nature, this how to read schematic, how to change out the compressor, how to braze and things of that nature. My first 2 years, nobody would let me well, my first year and part of my second year, nobody would let me braze because they didn't know how to braze. So they just don't take that chance on you. But I had already knew how to braze. Nobody just would give me that shot to braze until I had to do my own job. They were like, "Oh, you know how to braze." So then they started letting me do more stuff.
Hmm.
So, and I was always that guy. I'm over your shoulder, like, why do you do that? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? And I was always that guy trying to soak in the knowledge. If I can give anybody, like anybody that's going into the industry, right, that's brand new into the industry, what I tell all my apprentices here now, pay attention, get off your phone, man. Like if you're not doing anything, don't be on your phone. Just be over the person's shoulder, not literally over the shoulder, but watch what they're doing. Ask them why they're doing that. Ask them how they got to that knowledge or that I'm sorry, that conclusion of what they did. Ask questions. And when you can't be around there, it's like tight spot. Grab the schematic off the door panel. Go learn how to read it. That is your bread and butter right there. If you don't know how to read that, you can't work on the HVAC system. I don't care how much knowledge you know. Certain things you just can't figure it out. You know that in general, there's like steps of how the thermostat closes for G sending a signal to the contact. You know, that's normal. But when you talk about AONs and bigger equipment, Aeons, for example, like you walk into Aeon, you lost, like because there's no thermostat, there's no anything. You just walk up to Aeon and you try to figure out what's going on. So my best friend is the schematic. So when you can't be with your journeyman, pick up the schematic, read it, learn how to read it, follow from G, see where it goes from R, like on carriers.
Yeah, but
Carriers
mhm.
carriers go it doesn't go straight to the circuit board. It goes through the limit switch on the fan and then it comes back to the circuit board. So you have 24 volts leaving your transformer, but you don't have 24 volts at your board. So without learning how to read the schematic, which I was stumped on, I was like, why
Mhm.
don't have it? So I tried to place a circuit board, just thinking that's just
Right.
off normal
Yeah.
standard. But I found out there's a limit switch that it goes through on the
Hmm.
fan housing and it sends power to your board. So if you don't know how to read the schematic, you're lost in this industry.
Yeah. You gave Aeon for example, man. I just love Aeon units because they got everything labeled so beautiful and
Yeah, they
inside
do.
even their schematics color coded.
Yeah, but if you don't have the handheld or anything,
Yeah, you need
you
that.
can't get into a tunnel. You can't see because some of them have like a little mod board or whatever where you
Mhm.
can
I
actually
think the
scroll down,
Aeon
see what the alarm.
called Oeon, start with an O, the little handheld.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need that.
Yeah. So you need that. It's about that long or whatever,
Mhm.
and you plug into the board and you can see what's going on. Some of them have a little display where you can see like it's an alarm and it say see compression module one or something like that. So here recently I've been working on a lot of Aeon. So I was familiar with Aeon before, but I'm kind of like the guy to go on Aeon calls now when they
Yeah.
have Aeon.
Yeah,
So
Aeon, that
that
was my
just
yeah, that was my thing too when I was in
yeah, so
commercial.
that's just by trial and
Mhm.
error. I never had any official training. That's just like
Mm.
I got an Aeon, go figure it out.
Yeah.
That's just me. So
I got a Aeon video, probably about a 2 hour long course on
yeah,
YouTube. Yeah.
I had to check it out. And maybe
Yeah.
you see something that I
It
don't
was
know.
yeah, no, it was years ago. I just took Aeon class, I think with Texas Air System, and I
Hmm.
just kinda just set up my camera and it's showing they projector and,
Yeah,
it definitely some useful information on there though.
yeah. So I
Just
learned
kinda
how to do. I had a trouble with the O6E, and you did a training on it and how to pull like the oil pump stuff like that. And I
Mhm.
had my first, well, I ain't so first, but on my own, I had my first O6E that I was working on, and that kind of came in handy. So I watched a lot of YouTube videos, and that kind of
Mhm.
helped me evolve as knowledge. So random when I ain't doing anything, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, watch your videos, HVAC guy, HVAC R, Poly HVAC. I watch all them guys see what
Mhm.
they doing and what they. A lot of stuff they know. 90% of the night, well, I say 95% of stuff that you guys do, or I know how to do it, but maybe
Mhm.
there's some way faster that I can get to a conclusion.
Yep.
Pick up little gems. What
Mhm.
you don't need, you throw it away. What you
Yep.
need, you keep it.
Yep. Try to learn as
So
much learn as
exactly,
much as you can and be a sponge. You know what I'm saying? And use what you can
exactly,
and throw
exactly.
throw the junk out.
Yeah. So I'm
Um,
here where I am because I'm asking questions. I'm watching
yeah.
videos. So
Well, you said that some of these apprentices, when they coming on the job, they on their phone. You don't think they on YouTube, do you? Trying to
nah,
learn.
nah.
They,
They
they
on TikToks
they on
and
TikTok
social
and all
media.
that.
At
Yeah.
least the ones I've seen. I ain't gonna say everybody, but
Hmm.
most of the guys they looking at Instagram,
Yeah.
Facebook, things of that nature. Something that they laughing in the background. It
Right.
ain't got nothing to do with HVAC.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I mean, get all the knowledge here because you only gonna be a journeyman at your third year. They expect you to go run calls.
Hmm.
Now I had some guys that just third year and just completely lost, like don't know how to, read superheat, subcooling and things, and they just completely lost because it was like your first, second year, you always with somebody
That's sad,
and they
man,
took
because
it for granted.
it sound like the union gives every benefit to,
To
succeed in this.
succeed, yeah,
And
yeah. It's
and
all
after
about how
3
you
years
use
when
it.
you ain't progressing, yeah, something definitely wrong with that.
Correct, correct. So I mean, it's rather to happen now. A lot of the guys that come in are kind of like older too. We don't have any younger guys like 18, 19 coming in.
Oh,
I
yeah?
wish I knew about it. When I first turned out, I would have skipped
Mhm.
the whole technical school aspect. But like I said, God has his own timing.
Yeah. And that's what this
So
podcast for, man. So any youngsters out there, man, if y'all tuning in or some people out there, y'all got younger nephews, man, share this channel with them, share this video with them, man, because man, HVAC and as far as the union, if they 17, 18, even they 17 years old now. Is there an age minimum?
18.
18. So yeah, man,
Yeah,
you
you got to
they
have a high
16,
school diploma
17,
or
go ahead and
GED.
start prepping them now. I'm sorry, say that again.
You got to have an HV. I mean, I'm sorry, diploma or a GED in order to
Okay.
get in. So
Yeah, entry
that's the
level
only thing you
GED.
need.
Yeah, and that's pretty
You don't
much
need no other experience. You don't know how to know. You don't have to do anything. Like just go in
yeah.
there and say, "My name is Joe Blow."
Hmm.
That's it. You go in, they would
Yeah.
teach you.
So if
So
anybody out there listen, man, you struggling in school not for you. Even to be a productive citizen out here, man, you at least need an equivalent as far as a GED. So go out there and get your GED. At least to show you, you got the discipline to go out there and get your GED, because even in HVAC, you need to know basic math, you know what I'm saying, and know
correct.
how to write a sentence to explain what, we do have to explain what we've done in the field as far as when we go out on a troubleshooting
Man,
call, you've been out there 8 hours, you need to be able to put that in writing exactly what
exactly,
you done out there. So getting a GED
exactly,
is very important, and the GED gonna kind of show you how to structure and write an essay and stuff like that. So
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. You can't just go out. I went out, arrived on site, found that compressor. I mean, it found the short was at thermostat. You got to explain like how you got through that process,
Mhm.
or explain why you did. I'm paying 8 hours, and you're not talking about like $50 an hour. You're talking about $100+ an hour that a customer is paying for you to be out there to troubleshoot the unit. So you have to justify, because if you come back just replace thermostat and replace fuse, or
Yeah, they
whatever
be
the
like,
case may
I
be,
paid
you
I paid
like
$900
eight
for that.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. They gonna your supervisor be calling you, hey, what you did, like why, do we have to credit back the customer some? And that's the last thing they want to do is give back some money. So they're gonna call you and ask you to justify what you did. So that's why with me and my work orders, if you see my work order, it's like uh, day and night compared to some of the guys that I've seen
Right.
before. Let's just say that. Like you can read my work order and you can tell everything almost verbatim, step by step of what I did. I'm not gonna say,
Mhm.
walk 10 steps or anything like that, but just as
Yeah.
far as troubleshooting, what I did.
Mhm.
So because we have picky customers, they want you there for the least amount of time, but sometimes like the VRF system I was working on, it took me 6 hours to figure out. It was something simple, but with VRF, it's nothing simple. There's no guide. I have no computer to log in to see. If I had a computer, it would have been a little bit more easier, I would say, cut it down maybe 2 hours, but it's different. So I have to justify why I was there 6 hours yesterday to try to figure out what's going on. So
Mhm.
you have a detail, so you can't say, "Oh, Brandon didn't do anything," while he was on site, or you can't question my ticket because it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
All right.
it's all about how you make it.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna get ready and do the drawing for the next winner. Like I say, if enter union in the comment section. Y'all hit that like button. If you just joined, hit that like button, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take a small break, Brandon. We're gonna go ahead and do the drawing real quick. 'Cause I see
Okay.
we already been on here over an hour, but we only halfway through. So just bear
Okay.
with me. We're gonna go ahead and like I say, this video is sponsored by Top Tees, or this channel is sponsored by Top Tees, and this is the anemometer. I did a video of the unboxing of this anemometer. It's a great tool for troubleshooting. Like I say, we're gonna be giving some of these out today. So I'm gonna do a drawing. Let me see how many entries we have. Let me see how many entries we have so far. We got 11 entries. So we're gonna go ahead. Y'all hit that like button, man. If you're on your way in or you're on your way out, share this video. And like I say, thanks for Top Tees for allowing us to do these giveaways on the channel. And also, man, they coming out with a new gas leak detector. My channel be one of the first one to do the unboxing and the reviewing of that. So hopefully before Christmas, I told them to send me some extra ones. So I want to give a few of those out for the upcoming show. Also, me and Steven with United Tradesman Academy, we'll be doing a show Sunday. So also y'all check out Steven with United Tradesman Academy. Go check out his YouTube channel also. But let me share my screen real quick. There we go. All right. So we got 11 entries, y'all. So hey, this ought to be good here on 11 people. Want a chance to win this anemometer. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the drawing. All right. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got here. Uh-oh, United Tradesman Academy. Uh-oh, look at United Tradesman Academy. Look at my boy Steven. Shout out to Steven, man. We got to get Steven one anemometer, y'all. Hey, Steven been putting that work in. He been giving us all his advice on the some of the latest shows. And look, hey, he done won the United Tradesman Academy Top T's TS 301. All right, even so, you know my email, man. Shoot me your email. Shoot me your address, and I'll send that to you ASAP. All right, that's what's up, man. So we're gonna do a segue. So even with that right there, so I met let me see, let me remove this screen right here. So I actually met Brandon in person, and
Right.
we met at matter of fact, man, look, I'm drinking out my cup right here. I don't know if you see that, but we met at a store called
Yeah.
Bucky's.
Bucky's. Yeah.
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 He was he working in the service truck, man, and he come by way from Atlanta to Houston, Texas. And small world. He used to watch my shows,
Yeah.
watch some of my videos while he was in Atlanta. So
Yep.
anyway, we exchanged contact information. Good brother, man. And I know you were sharing your wife was going through a health scare, so I pray that she's doing a lot better right now.
Much better.
And so we like I say, we hooked up and exchanged numbers. And so everybody know Jobber is a sponsor of the show. So a while back, how much Jobber was giving away? Like 100,000,
Yeah. $150,000.
$150,000 giveaway. And it's different. So and I used to always I always share if Jobber doing something. So even so Jobber, I think I mentioned this at the beginning of the what's called March 1st, they're doing a summit. It's a free online event. But Brandon was one of the ones that won the prize from Jobber.
Correct.
And I wish I
Correct.
could put up the video. I should have it screaming. Man, you look so surprised when you won
Yeah.
that money from Jobber, man.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know that she was telling me. She was just like, we got one more interview. It was a long process, man.
Mhm.
And once again, thank you to my wife for helping me out with it, and giving me encouragement, keep me on track, keep me a deadline. She worked a deadline driven job, so Me, I'm
Mhm.
just, I'm fly by type day type guy. Like what I got to do today. I don't think
Yeah,
about tomorrow type thing. I just got to figure out what today.
yeah,
But yeah, out of thousands, I think over like 15,000 people
yeah. It's a lot
apply.
of
I
people
may be out 15,000 people,
out of
and they also
15,000 people.
yeah, and I think they select like 100. Like a certain
Yeah,
amount. I can't remember how many people they select, and I was one of them. So they
yeah.
got different tiers. So it's just like beginners, like you starting your business, or you haven't created a business yet, but you're in the process of starting it. You've been in the industry for like less than 7 years or more than
Mhm.
7 years. So it's like three different tiers that you can do. Like so I was one of the ones. I didn't have a business at the time, but I was in the process of studying for my
Mhm.
license and anything like that. Speaking of license, I just got my license December 14th. I'm sorry, November 14th. I took my test.
November
Uh
14th. So I've
yeah,
been
no,
around about a month now. Congratulations,
yeah,
man.
yeah. So I took
Yeah,
my test
yeah,
November 14th, got a 92 on it.
yeah,
And I just got my everything back of my
yeah.
final proof from TDLR on the 8th
Mhm.
of December. So I'm officially BDA Heating and Cooling
BDA
LLC
heating.
coming soon
Okay.
near you.
Yes, sir.
So
Congratulations.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that was all the requirement was with Jobber. Even if they said even if you thinking about, starting a business. And I
exactly.
used to tell people, hey, even if you're thinking about starting a business, even if you got your own business, go ahead and apply for these grants, you know. But man, it just made me feel good, man, that somebody I actually know, won. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
Jobber do
yeah.
they sponsor a few more home service business channels and stuff like that out there,
Hmm.
man. And I'm so gracious that they, sponsor my channel, man. And if somebody that I actually got to meet or meet, one man, that made me feel
Yeah,
good, man. And
yeah. It
like I
was a
say, y'all
humbling
go check out his
opportunity.
video on Jobber YouTube channel. Also, you can see him because I think you was just sitting in your truck, maybe you was at work and they
Yeah.
called you and told you won.
Yeah, they called and told me I won, and it was just kind of like we got to do this last minute interview type thing. So I was at work, unfortunately, the time that they had available, so I couldn't get around it. So I went in my truck on my lunch break, so that way I want to make sure I want company time or anything like that. I went in my truck, and she's like, "Well, I just want to call and tell you that you won, and
Wow.
what you see is my natural reaction." I think I even started crying interview. I
Yeah, it was your
always cry.
natural reaction. No,
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
no,
it's
that
natural
made me
reaction
feel
because
good, man.
for somebody to believe in you when you don't even have a company, like they don't even know that I'm going to actually start a company. They're just going off your word. For
Mhm.
somebody to trust in you and trusting people like us, and in our industry, our field, our race, I mean anything.
Yeah,
People to trust in you and to give you free money. No, I don't have to go with them. And if for my CRM software, I don't have. There's no obligation. I'm just going to give you the money I gave
yeah,
you because we believe and we like what we saw, what we read from you
yeah.
and your story, your appealing story.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that, man. So anybody even hear that, man? Even when I'm promoting job or something like that, nah, they the real deal, man. They really trust us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even as far as my content, they trust me, whatever I'm putting out. And it is a value. So whenever I'm preaching about a CRM software, it's a great CRM software. They got good customer service, man, and they give it back to the trade. And they fit it, like I say, they doing this free online event. I'm gonna leave it in the description below. Anybody that's thinking about starting a business, y'all sign up for it. It's this free knowledge. It's gonna be a lot of. I think one year I don't. I gotta look see who all gonna be on the platform. I know Gary V. I don't know if y'all familiar with Gary V.
Hmm.
Gary, I think his last name Vanderchuck, but they got big names that's gonna be on the stage. So
Right,
y'all want
right.
to stay tuned and tune in, man, and soak up that knowledge, man. One of that question on that, man. I see you started your business or getting ready to roll that thing out. Congratulations on
Yeah.
that. So with
Appreciate
the
it.
money,
Thank you.
with the money that you won from Jobber, are you thinking about it? Are you investing that in your business, or what kind of plans that you got? You got for
Yeah,
that?
so they kind of ask you that in your, in your,
Cause they said you can
questionnaire
do
or
anything
whatever.
with. Hey, you can do
They say you
anything
can
you
do
want to do with
anything
the
with
money,
it.
man. So if you
Right,
want to go
right,
buy your
right.
wife that bag, you can go ahead and go to that bag now.
Yeah, so basically what I true to mind, so it's going to assist with starting up my company. Any new owner of any company know it's costly to start up a new union. I mean, sorry, a new union. Excuse me, a new company for
We
legal
can make that
fees, set up
happen
your
too now.
LL. Yeah, yeah. So well, that is possible.
Yeah.
When you grow, you can set up, you can have a company, and you can be part of that board member to make the final decision. But I use mine preferably, for all my legal fees, setting up my company, actually be able to put this name on my shirt. All that went to that, and
That
the
look
rest of
good
it, I'm
too,
just
man. I
saying,
like that,
yeah,
man. That's beautiful.
appreciate it. So it's no logo. I'm in the beginning stages, and setting my logo, website, and all that type of stuff. So all that's slow. So my first year, I get a lot of questions like when I'm on jobs. Hey, do you do HVAC residential? Sure, I can say that now. Like, yeah, but I'm not actually going out and seeking customer at this moment. I think my first year, thanks to my wife again, once you get your license, you want to hit the ground rolling. I need to go buy a truck. I need to go buy these tools. Babe, give me some money so I can go and do this. But she had to calm down.
Yes, sir.
You're gonna get there. We waited, the amount of time that we waited to get here. Let's plan this thing out. Take your first year, learn how to run a business, learn how to do things, and things like that. So it's going to be a lot of research
Yeah,
for my
sound
first
like my
year. Just
wife. You need
yeah. So my first year is going to be like how to legit run a business, how to grow your business, and things of
that.
that nature. So that's
Mhm.
my first year. If I get a call here and there, I do that. Like the day I got my approval from TDRR, I had a emergency service call for a buddy of mine.
Mhm.
So the same day I was legit, the same day I got my first job. So, but like I said, the first year, man, is just going to be more so just learning the business, make sure I'm set up, and
Yeah.
slowly start buying the tool.
Right.
I did buy some, like when you posted the Elitech, I got an Elitech vacuum or $500 vacuum pump for $250.
Yeah.
So,
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, we all know how to. I wish they were selling recovery machines and stuff like that, but they don't do that. But I have my own gauge. I have
It's
my own
coming.
tool.
It's coming. They growing. Shout out to Ellie Tech.
Yeah,
They definitely
yeah.
coming,
So
and they got
I
good
took
tools
advantage of
also.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I got a lot of tools already because I do HVAC now every day, so a lot of the tools. But I didn't want to take care of my big ticket items like
Right.
vacuum pumps. I didn't want
Yeah.
to
You don't
transfer
want to
back
be
and forth.
swapping out like that now. So
No,
you
so
definitely want to tune in. Have you already signed up for the Java Summit in March?
no, I didn't know
You
anything
definitely,
about that
yeah,
actually. They used to send me emails and stuff like that, but
yeah,
I haven't did that. But I'm definitely going to be there for that.
yeah, yeah. Check out my links and sign up for them, man. And that's definitely gonna help for new business. So
Correct.
help you kind of get a good takeoff on that also.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, okay, man, we can get back into it. We just did the benefits. We just did the benefits. What about some challenges? Well, I think we already went over the challenges.
We
So
did challenging.
yes, a lot of people going to ask, how can I, get a job working with for the union?
So
What's
it goes back to
my
the
process? And because you mentioned that, you also mentioned that you did so well in your interview. You got a job, I think, say like next
the
day,
very next day. Yeah, I got a
very
job
next
off the
day.
very next day.
So
Yeah.
when you explain this, can you kind of get some tips on the interviewing process?
Yeah. All right. So let's start with the tips with the interview since it's fresh in my mind. So what I did was I believe in shaking everybody's hand and looking them in the eye. Show them that you're
Mhm,
serious, have a firm grip on it. Ask everybody how you doing. Go
mhm,
around each person. Don't skip nobody, no matter where they at. If they far away, skip everybody. From if there's a receptionist or a bookkeeper or something in there. No, shake
mhm,
everybody, greet everybody, look everybody firm in the eye. So you make eye contact with one person, switch and make eye contact to another person
mhm,
and be firm with your answer. Just the less fumbling around you do, the more secure you sound. I think the better. So go in there. You can't be prepared enough because you don't know what to expect. But just believe in yourself. Believing in yourself. That's all you need. If you got faith in you and God, then you don't need nobody else. That's all you need. All you need is God Himself. He'll guide your footsteps. So ask Him to guide your footsteps. Anything is possible. Before yeah, I do anything, or anything, just about no matter what it is. I say I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. That's all I
amen.
need. I feel covered when I do that. I said it for my test. I got a 92. I did it for my UA test. I got an 86. He never let me down. What's for you is for you. What's not is not. So let it pass me by. So look everybody in the eye. Be secure in your answers. Once you're done with the question, kind of like nod your head a little bit and like next question. Like I'm firm in my answers. So when you talking, you doing this, they look at your little sign. I learned that from my wife as well. But sometimes you be doing this and you talking, there people like, nah, he don't believe in the answer. But if you nod your head, like, you kind of make your facial expression like you serious, you mean it, let them know that this is what you want. You're not just doing this just for the money. You're doing it because you want to expand your career. You believe in yourself, they should believe in you. So that's when it comes to interview process, man. Just go around, greet everybody, look everybody in their eyes. Don't shy away from them. Look them in the eyes. Let them know that you see it. Let them see inside of you. Let them see the person that you really are. And
Mm-hmm.
then when it goes to it, go ahead. I'm
So,
sorry.
so let's rewind it a little bit. So before we get to the interview, though, do I need to what do I need to Google, or do I need to
Yeah.
look in the phone book? How do I
So,
either find
so
a
what you
find a
do,
unit?
what I did was like I said, I used to go to my mom's job. I was unemployed at the time. I used to go to my mom's job. Just Google HVAC unions in whatever state you in. So for me, it was HVAC union and Atlanta. That's not how I found it. I Googled HVAC jobs, and that's how I found it. I came across local 211. I'm sorry, local 72. But you Google your local union and in your state, like I said, every state has pretty much have a union, but you have to see if they specialize in HVAC, plumbing, and service. So you go there, you put in an application, you pay like an application fee, and they'll send you a letter saying, "Hey, we want to do a interview with you." So they give you an interview date, and that's how you get to the interview. Then you go through the interview process, and it usually take like 2 to 3 weeks. It may be faster now. I'm not sure, but they'll say, "Hey, you're approved. Your next step, maybe go take a drug test or something like that." And then they say once you pass everything, that all your paperwork is squared away. They say your schooling it starts on I don't know June 1st, and then you go to school in first year. So it's a little bit more, errands you probably have to run between here and there, but that's the gist of it. You apply, interview, school.
Okay.
So that's that. And then once you do that, once you satisfy all that, they so the contractors. The good thing about it, the contractors has to pick up a certain amount of apprentices per journeyman. So for like every two journeymen, you got to have one apprentice. For every
Mm,
four journeymen, you got to have two apprentices. So every year they're picking up new apprentices. So it's a niche of companies. It may be like 100 companies in one union. All these guys, they're going to go into that board meeting because they're scoping out guys, or
mhm,
they're gonna the union is gonna say, hey, we have these guys, we need to find a job, and the company will say, hey, I'm looking for such and such many amount of apprentices
mhm,
this year. So they'll say, based on their needs, they'll put you here, they'll put you here, they'll put you here. So lucky for me, like I said, the owner of the company, he called me directly the day afterwards. And funny story about that really quick. So I used to do security, I used to do bike patrol
mm,
around the place, open air mall in Atlanta. It's in Midtown called Atlantic Station. And we're not supposed to have our phones on us. I'm not gonna get in trouble for it now, but we're not supposed to have our phone on. I was on bike patrol, so I can have my phone in in my pocket or whatever in my jacket pocket.
mhm,
And we're not supposed to be on our phone. Not supposed to have your phone on you or anything like that. So I was riding a bike and my phone vibrated. So I looked at it and I didn't know who it was, but something said, well, I say God said answer the question, but the internal something says answer the phone. So I went into a little kiosk where they make deliveries at. I put my bike in, parked my bike, and I answered the phone. And the guy said, "Can I speak to Brandon?" I'm like, "This is he." He said, "This is Alan with B&W." But I thought he said, "I'm calling to set up an interview with you." Just did. I mean, he said set up an interview with you. I was
mhm,
like, man, I'm honored, to work for BMW, like the car place. I'm honored for work for BMW,
mhm,
but I don't know how to work on cars. He's like, no, no, it's B and W. So, and he was like, you just did an interview yesterday, and I'm calling it to, set up another interview with you. So that was a little funny story. I thought it was
mm.
BMW. I thought it was a car
Yeah.
place that was offering me a job. I was like, I never applied for BMW. I don't know how to work on cars. I'm honored to work on
Mhm,
BMWs, but I don't know how to do any of that. So that's a little funny story on that. So, but luckily for me, like I said, I got an interview the next day. I put in my 2 weeks notice. Like my supervisors, the director, they was all happy for me. They was like, man, go ahead. We knew that's what you want to do. So they was like, go ahead, man, and good luck. And to this day, my director, I used to do work at his house. He still called me when he have AC problems. He asked me, do I have somebody to suggest? I installed three units at his house, and a buddy of mine just installed another unit at his house. So he had total 4 units. So I installed a ductless split in his garage, so he didn't have anything. So that's just me. That was my 3rd year of apprenticeship that I did this by myself. So that's just the knowledge that I had, and he trusts me to come in his house and do work, and that's the director of the security. So you never know who you're meeting and or anything like that, and the relationship that you go bond. So that's a good thing about the job that I do. I got so many friendships, I made so many different relationships and things of that nature. So yeah, it's a great thing.
So do the union, are they hiring all the time, or is it
All
difficult
the time.
all the time?
Not all the time. Like
All
it
the
pretty
time.
much, as you see, as you drive around, pretty much every truck has a hiring technician. Like technicians needed. Like we're hiring the company I work for. We're hiring. But you can go directly.
I thought they just put them stickers on there and they just on there.
No, they actually need people. Like if you're a chiller tech, like you in demand, you can go in, you can negotiate your pay and things of that nature because you're a chiller tech. It's a need. So I'm an upcoming chiller tech. Like I work on anything air cooled. As far as like scrolls.
But if anybody listen to this, so you telling me all they got to do is call their local union.
Call the local union, bro. They're needing people. They're needing people. The industry is going so fast. We don't have people. As people retire, we don't have people. You say it all the time. We don't have people to replace them. So they're needing guys to come in. They're willing to train you for free.
Yeah.
For free. I'm paying for you to go to school. I'll pay for you. You come in, I'll pay for you. You know what I mean? That's coming out of my check.
That's awesome.
Out of my total pay. I'm contributing to the school. For you to go to school. So why not take advantage of it? You may hear your horror story of the union. I can't speak for every union. The union that I'm in now, and working with local 211, and local 72, I had nothing but great experience. Whenever I needed something, they're there for me. They helped me transition to Houston. I walked in a business administrator office. Like they don't really, it's hard to get in. I just walked in, no appointment. That's just from the relationship that I built. So the relationship, you never know where you can go in here, man. You can be one of the owners yourself. You never know. I have this name on my shirt because I learned a lot of stuff from them.
Yeah, so that's another thing. So just far as the union, right? So you come from Atlanta to Houston, and it seemed like that was a seamless process.
Yes.
So you can pretty much work. So once you really in the union, you can work all over the country then with no problem.
You can work anywhere you want to.
Is there a union in all, like, how many states?
Pretty much there's like I said, they all the way as far in Canada. So if you want to move to Canada, there's a union there, but it may not be HVAC. So I won't say there's an HVAC union in every state, but there's a union pretty much in all states. Now, if like I said, if there's HVAC pipe fitters and plumbing, now that's a different question. You have to Google that. Google will tell you the answer. But there's pretty much a UA in pretty much every state. There, you talking about over millions of members in the UA that's in there now, and retired, non-retired, just starting out, and that number's growing every year.
So just for how to get a job, in conclusion on that right there. So you say we need to go to the website.
Go to the website, find your local union, and go put in your application. So right now, like school is already in process. So you do your application, get ready for the next enrolling school year. So depending on what union you're in, they have different enrollment periods. I think like in Texas, I think a new one is starting in January or February or something like that. A new enrollment class, a group of guys is rolling in January. So you do that. You do your application.
So everybody that be in the classroom though, they all y'all with the union.
Everybody's in the union. You can't be in that classroom unless you're in the union
school.
It's a union school only, so no outside guys can walk in. You can't walk in and say I want to
Mhm.
go to school. You have to
Where
join. You
these
have to
schools
join the
be
union.
located at? These be on school campuses or
No, so they have their own building. They have their
they got
own
their own
warehouse. They
building and
have their own
everything?
units. Yeah. So
Right.
like the one here for Texas is in Deer Park.
Mm.
So you drive down to Deer Park, and you go, they may have another
And one in
branch
Houston.
location. Right. So, well,
Mhm.
no, there's not one in Houston. Like it may
Well,
be in
well,
another part of Texas or
right.
whatever. So, but in Austin, I think they have one in Austin.
Mhm.
But that's a different union. So that's another different union. So it's only one, I think, HVAC. They may have like a say for instance, not saying that they have it, they may have a branch in Katy or something like that. And
Right.
then they got one at Deer Park. Like in
Mhm.
Atlanta, they got one in Rome, Georgia, Atlanta, and Albany, Georgia. So they got three branches, but it's all local 72. So if you stand that close to the area, you go to that school. If you stay close to Atlanta, you go to the Atlanta school. If you stay close to Rome, you go to Rome, and vice versa, Albany. So you just Google HVAC union in your state. If there's one, it'll pop up and it say, and then go on that read. It might pop up, bring up some unions, but
Mhm.
it doesn't say like HVAC service technicians or anything like
So if I'm looking for a union job and let's say I'm about 20 years old,
that.
I do got a GED.
Hmm.
Um, why wouldn't I get that job? Or 'cause you say they're hiring all the time.
Hmm.
If all I need is a GED to qualify, why wouldn't I get the job? Or why would they turn me
Well,
around? Or,
it comes down to like, your background. They work with the background. Like if you may have a felony or something like that, but you
Mhm.
just probably can't go to like schools or anything. So we do some schools and stuff like that. So if the school require a background check, things of that nature, anything sensitive, you
Okay,
you just can't go around to that
right.
point. But
So long
I
as
can't
so
speak.
you can have a felony and it's a misdemeanors, but
Yeah, yeah,
depending
that
on
they
what
won't
kind
hold
of
you for that.
felony.
Depending on, yeah, correct. Depending on what kind
Mhm.
you have, they will allow to do. I know some guys that have been in prison for whatever reason. I don't know, but I know
Mhm.
some guys that while working them went to prison, and they came back, they had a job. So and then another thing is it's
So
kind
if
of hard
anybody
to
out
get
there
fired.
listening, though, so if anybody out there listening, not to cut you off, Brandon, don't let that be a deterrent if you got
Correct,
a criminal
correct.
background or something like that. Still go up there and try.
Yeah,
Fill
and
out the
all they can say
application.
is no.
Yeah, all they can
Yeah,
say is no, or maybe they can give you a reason. This far as maybe you got to wait 3 years, 5 years,
right,
and then
correct.
reapply. But if it's nothing, probably sound like maybe like rape or murder,
Yeah, yeah,
something
things of that nature.
violent or something like that, you still have an opportunity. So don't let that deter you. Still go out there and fill out the application, and
Correct.
hopefully they can get you on.
Yeah, we're looking for guys. The industry, man, you look around every corner. They build a building. That building need HVAC. So a lot of these big jobs, that's you go in there. Most of the guys are union that's running
Mhm.
these jobs. Like there's some union guys on every big job you pretty much going. Whether there's piping or steam or there's
Yeah.
sprinkler guys. I mean, there's a variety. If you don't want to do HVAC, they have something for everybody. If you want to be a skillsman,
Mhm.
tradesmen of whatever sort.
Yeah.
If you get in, you don't want to do HVAC. Oh, I want to learn how to weld. You can swap over to do, pipe fitting and stuff like that. You can learn how to weld. They teach you how to weld. So
Yeah.
there's a lot when it comes
Right.
to the UA. The UA is big. I think the union. I own Facebook groups. You talk about union. A lot of guys just figure out, union is just the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
So it's to each his own. That's a question that's just like the who's better, Michael Jordan or LeBron James. That's just
Mhm.
all. That's you may be LeBron or I may be Jordan or vice versa. That's just how you feel about it. And the guys that are saying this are older guys that have been working for the same company and have
Mhm.
been capped out at like $28 an hour or whatever. So, that's not saying that's the case for everybody, but that's the guys that you see is the most of the older guys that's towards the end of the year. It may have been different back then, and they just held on to that image, but that's not the same. They're here to
Yeah,
to
if
people
they
like
make it
you and
that
me,
far, though, yeah, they make it that far. They got a lot of pension hours
right?
too that they
Exactly,
put to the side.
exactly,
Let's go to
exactly.
let's go to the next question. Job security.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
mhm.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say so. I always hear that, like I say, if you get laid off, we kind of spoke about this earlier. If you get laid off, they'll get you another job. You don't have to worry about that. There's any truth to that? I mean, and just for job security, also, just say if you do get laid off, by how long does it take for them to get you another job? And just say if it take about a month, right?
Hmm.
Do you get
Hmm.
paid? Are you getting some type of income in unemployment benefits or something like that in between time or?
Yeah. So no, you don't get unemployment. I mean, like from the union, you can file
Mm,
for unemployment like a regular job. You can file for unemployment.
mm,
If
okay.
they fire you or anything like that, you just file
Mhm,
for unemployment, long as it's within reason. Of course, the state have their regulations on what you can and cannot do as far as unemployment. As far as job security, is when I say it's hard to get fired from a job, like you literally have to be the worst of the worst
mm,
because one company can't really afford to let anybody go. um, so they need guys. So it takes a lot. If you get fired from a job, you definitely ain't doing something. And that's not we're not talking about the first or the second or the third try that you've done this. You're
mhm,
a repeat offender of whatever it is that you did to get a job on most jobs that I've been on. And then when that person leaves, it's like, man, that should have been long ago. Like a standard job, they'll probably let you go in a heartbeat. Not just,
mhm.
saying that some companies here won't do that. But it's just a little bit hard from what I've seen at the companies I've worked for and people that I've heard, saying it's a lot harder to
So
get
just off the
fired.
top of your head, what are some reasons? So do y'all like do drug testing?
Yeah,
Uh,
drug testing.
of,
So
dr-
it's
of,
hard to even get kicked out the union. So you can go as far as get kicked out the union, right?
mhm.
So when it comes to drugs and stuff like that, so your first offense, you pay $500 to go in front of the board.
Oh, so
They
you get
talk you
strike.
into Yeah, you get strikes.
Mhm,
Yeah, so I mean, if it's like a harsh offenders,
mhm.
the owners go to the board and say like you did this, you got the fighting or something like that. So if you get in a fighting or you just disrespectful, words travel. So one company to another because everybody know
Right.
everybody. Everybody,
Mhm.
like the technician, like if you go to supply house, how many times you go to supply house and you hear somebody talk about another person from at that same company? Words travel. That's how you get a lot of jobs too as well. You go to the supply house, hey man, y'all hiring or anything like that? Just word of mouth. But it's word travel. So if you get to fighting or things that nature, word travel. So it kind of leave a bad taste in your name. But there's still some company that's willing to give you a shot. But we have some guys that just they bring pretty much every company
Yeah.
because they just keep getting let go for whatever reason from this one job, those jobs. So job security is great, man. You
Yeah.
can't get no better than that.
I hate to kind of I hate to kind of word that question like that, job security, because I feel there really no such thing. But if I say as
No,
far as union though, it seems like that is a
yeah,
such thing as job security because
yeah. They
you're
assist you
not
if
the
you
only one.
can't
I
find
heard
out.
it's very, very hard to get fired from a
Yeah,
union.
it's
It's
very,
very
very, very hard to get fired from you because, like I said, we need guys. It's becoming kind of scarce. Like I said, pretty much every van that you pass by, every service truck, guys needed, HVAC technicians needed,
but
whatever.
people
So
come on
it's
but people come on my channel all the time and say why it's so difficult to get an HVAC.
well.
And it
So
seems
when
like
it
from
comes
what
to the
you're saying, it
union,
should be a line wrapped around the door.
yeah, but a union is like that's the thing. Like they're starting to get hip to it, but there's no marketing really for that.
Mhm.
For unions, like there's no billboards like you see like a
Yeah,
John Moore or something like that. Like
right.
there's no billboard saying like local 211 technician. So they're starting to do that. Like you starting to hear like radio ads. When I was in Atlanta, I saw it here like radio ads. They was going out to different schools and things that nature, trying to outreach and reach different kids at younger age. You have your firefighters, your armies, or whatever. You have all those guys that go up to the school and say, like join today.
Mhm.
They're starting to do that type of stuff. Like I didn't know anything about union
Yeah.
before, did it. If I did, I would have probably
Yeah.
joined in.
No, you're right, cause you got the police union, you got the firefighters union. Yeah, all this union.
Right, right,
Mhm.
right. So you have all those things, but the marketing is is not
But
as
union not
great.
government funded though, right?
That I can't even answer that.
Okay,
I don't know.
but do y'all go after government contracts? Do
Yes.
y'all work for a bunch of government contracts?
Yes. Oh, so we did
Mhm.
like in Atlanta, we actually worked at the state capitol. Like we did a bunch of work
Mhm.
at the state capitol. So and like we did a school system. So we like Atlanta Public Schools, they have like 99 schools. The company I work for, we had like 36 of those schools that we did. That's government. So yeah, we do a lot of government
Who's
work.
doing who would be doing a proposal for those government contracts?
Your account manager or you have
I
project
mean,
managers. So we have a bunch of guys. You got account managers, you got project managers. They gonna look at the job, walk the job. Those two are gonna walk the job. They be at the jobs. But I mean, you got to have everything in order.
do you
Yeah.
have relationship with those guys? The-
With project manager, yeah. It
Yeah.
was some of the guys in my like in Atlanta. Yeah, I was pretty close with everybody.
Mhm.
The guys here, I take care of some of their contracts. So certain guys, I don't want to say like we're like super close, but if I have like a question or something, I can go to them and ask.
Mhm.
But as far as like me and buddy, no, it's starting to get like that. I've been at this
Mhm.
company. I've been in Houston going on 4 years now, so it's going on 4 years that I've been with this company. So I don't
So
really too much go in the office that much like
okay,
that.
okay, okay. We'll talk about that later. I got a question about that.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll do that out the air though. Okay. So next question: benefits and wages. And I have
Okay.
we can get into that. I know you wanted me to share a website
hmm
with the audience. Um, but can you kind of do a leeway? How you want to go about doing this?
So, well, say for instance, anybody in Atlanta, right? So, if guys, if you want to see, and I'll have Walter put it up. So, the website, Walter, if you can,
Mhm.
is a ua72.org. So, if you go, you should see the menu. Sorry, click on members info. So
Okay.
that's just a little video of some of the guys that's doing here. So it's a great video of guys welding and learn how to do it and stuff like that.
1 second.
Um,
I'm gonna put the website up. That's the website right there, y'all.
Yeah. So you
So
go on there. So you'll see this video of this guy. This is guys that's in school. This is the work that you're doing in school. This is the type of stuff that do. When I say you're doing hands-on stuff, you're doing hands-on stuff. Like this is no joke. So unions they're pretty
you say you
good
want me to
in
click on what?
members info.
Members info.
Yeah, at the top right. Yeah, members info.
I
You
see
go down.
join us. I see members login. Okay,
Now
members
go down
info right
right.
here.
So go to wages and fringes, and it's going
So
to ask you to.
uh so going back though, before
Mhm.
we go to the wages, um,
Okay.
if they're in Atlanta for the local union 72, this where they go and fill out the application also? Or just about
No,
wages and stuff?
so if you there goes like about 72 and stuff like that, you would go or quick links. I think if
Mhm,
you go to quick links,
mhm.
it'll give you more information about the schooling,
Okay,
apprenticeship school. So you go to quick links and go to apprenticeship school, and
okay.
it kind of give you a rundown of what it is.
Mhm.
So if you want to take a look at that, we can. It's up to you. But when you click on wages and fringes, it's gonna download a PDF, and then you just open
Okay.
that.
We'll do that.
Um,
Okay.
okay. So like just like we're gonna go,
Can you see that?
yeah, so I can see that.
Mhm.
So this is let's start with apprentice. So if you scroll down a little bit, let's just start with apprentices.
Right here?
So
Okay.
right here. So first year apprentices, you're gonna start out at $15 and 85 cents. All right. So and then your health and welfare out of that included. This is not including the 15, and well, it's including 15, but it's not deducting the 790. So your health, the H&W is health and welfare. So that's your insurance or what you're paying um, per pay period, per check
You say
or whatnot.
this per week or every 2 weeks?
This per week. You get paid every week in the union.
Okay.
You get
On what
paid every
day?
week. So Atlanta was Wednesdays.
Mhm.
Houston is every Friday. So every union is different. Some may be Tuesdays or Mondays or whatnot. So
Okay.
everybody's different. So
And we got
you
pension
get paid
NNA.
right. So you're not invested just yet. So once you don't start getting your pension and stuff until you turn out as a journeyman. So I
Okay.
think they once you get like your third year, they start doing like a certain amount, but they want you to be vested a certain amount of time before they do that because
Mm-hmm.
that's money that they're putting in. It's
Right.
not more so you. That's money that they're putting in. So they want to make sure you go through the whole time before they really start investing. So um, the 1580 is what you that's what you get paid per hour. And that's what you get paid per hour in a check. The 790 is included. Like how can I word this to where the 790 is on top of the 1580 you get it. So whatever that math is, like
About
$23 or
yeah, about
whatever.
20. Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's saying like the total fringe is $9.11. So $9 plus the $15, that's what you get paid per hour, technically, per hour. But they already deduct the 790 and the 91 cents and 10 cent and the 20
Mm-hmm.
cent for different things, for different programs that they have in there. So that's what you get
So
paid per
we'll
hour.
do 1580,
Hmm.
and then you plus the 911.
Yes.
So you really getting paid 24.91.
$24, yes, per hour. That's how much you
Mm-hmm.
really get paid. But on your check, after everything comes out, like you JATT is schooling, you kind of investing back into schooling too as well. But it's only 91 cents. You paying 91 cents a week to go to school. You can't tell me where else you can do that,
Right.
and go from there. Unless you got a scholarship, you're going for free. But you paying 91 cents to go to school. That's all you're
Yeah, that's
paying per
good.
week.
Yeah, I got to think about, guys. When I started, I was getting paid $8.25 an hour when I started, and
Yeah,
that's when nothing taken out. So if I even want to
right.
put some in my 401k, they're gonna deduct that from the 825. So
Correct, correct. So then when you go down to your second year, every year you get an increase. As long as you up to date, you pass your
okay.
classes, whatever, you can go up and you go
So
to
on this second year
1790
right
hour.
here, on the second
Hmm.
year though, this say the 1790. That's when you
Hmm.
adding that 911 to that 1790.
Yeah, you add that to the 911 to the 1790, and that's
Okay.
what you get paid technically per hour. But the
Mhm.
1790 is what you're gonna see on your check.
Okay. So
So
we
and then it goes on. Go ahead.
okay. So and what the percentages mean again? This was 51 to 60 to 70 and
So that's
80.
just like it's a second year, first, third year, fourth year. So it's just a percentage of how much you've done in the school or whatever. So they just go by percentage, and then they also go by year.
Okay. Uh, that fifth year, plus that 911.
Mm-hmm.
So by your fifth year, you already at $37
It's
an hour, pretty much.
37%. Yeah, correct,
Yeah, you can't. That's
correct.
pretty good.
Right. So, and then if you're going up, you can see like so what I was saying for provisional journeyman, that's the in between the journeyman, I'm sorry, the journeyman and the apprenticeship. So they get paid like 20 something dollars an hour, whatever. So say for instance, this is up to date. So this is what you will get paid in Atlanta. But the good thing about this is a set rate. They can't pay you no less than $35.08 once you turn out to be a journeyman. They can pay you whatever they want above that. There's no limit to what they can pay you. If the
Mm,
company want to give you $5 over, they can give you $5 over. So that's a good thing. But they cannot pay you no less than $35.08 on that.
okay.
So and there's the different tiers. There's a journeyman, there's a crew foreman, the foreman, and general foreman. Those are the ones I was telling you about. So this is what
Hmm.
they get on their take home pay. And like I said, there's just a minimum that they can pay you. They can pay
Right.
you however much they want over scale.
Mm,
So with the total JM package you see at the bottom, it's like $51.59. Um,
okay.
in total of what you had to pay additional. So I think that's based on just the regular journeyman. So if
Hmm.
you do the general foreman, of course it'll be like $3 different, $3 higher than whatever the package is. So technically, if you look at it to break even, if you go out to a mom and pop shop, to break even what you make here, you have to make at least $51.59. And insurance is a lot higher on the outside too when you're paying for your own insurance too as
Hmm.
well. So that's a um different thing.
Okay.
So yeah, that's pretty much what it is. So I mean, you guys can go in detail. You can take a look at it, but I just
Yeah.
wanted to quickly give you guys a kind of heads up of what the pay is. And a lot of
Hmm.
guys think union don't pay anything, but it's a lot of mom and pop shops, and I'm not downgrading anybody because I work for one. I'm not, everybody got to get it how they get it. But a lot of mom and pop shop, they paying like 20 something dollars an hour and something. And you talking about that's the most senior tech. There's
Yeah.
some guys that's getting the same pay, but it's a much bigger company as well. But your mom and pop shop, they give you $24 an hour and things of that nature. And that's not even including your 401k insurance and all that stuff got to come out of it. But that just kind of give you an idea of what it is. So um yeah, I mean that's what it is. And then like I said, you have the Mechanical Trade Institute, which is a different entity there. You go to school twice a week and things of that nature.
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool, man.
So
Like I
like I said, if you
Mhm.
scroll at the bottom, it said the application period spring 2023, PDL and fall 23 is now open. So
Now. Hmm.
if you guys are interested in getting in, if you're in Atlanta, you can they start accept applications, and then HVAC starts August 1st. Plumbing and pipe fitting start February and August, so that's 2 times a year. But HVAC only starts 1 time a year, and that's new. Everybody used to start one time a year. The 2 time a year they just recently started that in that last couple of years. So everybody used to start at the same time. So that's something new as well. But that's just to give you a general idea of
Hmm.
what the union offers and things and that. So I think there's great benefits. Like I said, it's to each his own. Everybody's experience is going to be different. But based on my experience and coming to you guys today, the AFAT people world, this is my experience. And it's a great place to start. So you don't have to pay no schooling. I can't reiterate that a lot. I mean enough. There's no
Okay.
cost for schooling unless you have to pay for your books or anything. But you're talking about like $400 or $500, but that's compared to $1,000 you pay at a additional college. So
Okay. So my next course was training and education, but I think you kind of went through pretty much you covered those bases there as far as the
mhm,
training, especially at the start. You don't really need no training. You just need
correct,
a GED pretty much to get started, and they're gonna
correct.
provide all the training for you and take a small
Oh,
amount out the
I
check.
right. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Mhm.
One thing I want to point out, so a lot of unions, right? This is a big bonus. So when I say you don't need anything, like Local 72 in Atlanta, like they supply all of your tools.
Wow.
They give you a van and they give you your tools. Like you just go to the spot when you get hired, you
Hmm.
go to Granger or with a Johnstone or a Johnson or whatever, and you go buy your tools. You
Wow.
don't have to buy your tools.
Mm.
So certain companies, you have to buy your tools. But in Atlanta, like if you get hurt using your own tools, there's repercussion. Like they may only cover you for certain amount in your additional health insurance or something like that if you're using your own tools. So that's another perk of being in the union. A lot of companies, like I know Johnson Controls, they supply all your tools, no matter what state you're in. They supply all your tools, so you don't have to buy nothing. All you do is get your keys to your van, go stock your van. That's it.
No, that's what's
So
up. That's what's up.
that's another point I want to. So a lot of guys don't have to spend his money for these high dollar tools and whatever. And then
Hmm.
another point, when you first starting out, get your pair of analog gauge. Don't get the digital gauges because you need to learn how to do your superheat subcooling by hand. So if you got to learn how to do that. So don't start out with the high dollar gauges. Start out with a pair of yellow jacket manifold, the 4-port. I say get the 4-port ones. They're like I think $113, and then you have to buy your hoses with it. So start out with that. Learn how to do it. Learn how to use a temperature clamp and calculate. Your superheat subcooling. Don't go and buy these $600. I still got a pair of analog. I don't even have a pair of digital now. I still use the analog. I got me a temperature clamp for my field piece, and that's how I do my superheat subcool. I haven't swapped
Right.
over yet.
Yeah, it took me a long time, man, to go
Yeah,
ahead and
you need to
implement.
send me a pair of them yellow jackets you got in your garage. You got about 6 pairs in there.
Hey, I got you. Send me your email address. I got you for sure.
All right,
On
all right.
everything I love.
Okay.
Send me your address. I'll send you some. Hey, check this
Okay.
out though. So also Ellie Tech man gonna send me a nice pair of uh some gauges. I'm gonna do a review on those also. So I can't wait. I think they in the mail now. I gotta go and get them. They're not even on the
Yeah, I
market
was
yet.
looking at it. Oh, I was looking at the ones they have now, like the ones you've been
Yeah,
that you've
them
been
nice.
talking about on
Yeah,
your
them
channel.
nice. Like I said, I got some yellow jackets. I got several pair, and uh, the one that I'm gonna send you, they refurbished, but they just like they brand new.
Okay,
got
yeah,
you,
I
man.
appreciate
Hey,
it.
I
I
got you,
appreciate it.
man. For coming on the show and sharing all this advice, man. So I'm glad I be able to do something for you. You know what I'm saying? So since you
Yeah,
saying all this knowledge,
I
um,
appreciate it.
now let's move on to the next. So like I say, we just got a few more questions. We're gonna get ready to wrap it
Okay.
up because, like I say, once we start these things, we're already 2 hours in.
Mhm.
So what are some common reasons why people don't last long with the HVAC union that you've seen from your experience? Just far as can you name some reason why people do get fired, even though you did say it was kind of hard?
Mhm.
Um, just far as do some people burn out? What are some common reasons that you're seeing people leaving the union side of it?
Yeah, it's the number one reason why is a lot of people don't take it serious when they come to the apprentice. So when you become like a fourth or fifth year or a journeyman, people paying you like example $35.08 an hour, and you don't know how to do your job. You have a lot of callbacks. Like you get fired from the job. Now once you go around to all your companies, and you can kind of lie your way in, but it's only a matter of time before they figure out, well, you don't know anything. So once you've exhausted all the companies, the next step is unfortunately you got to go out and go somewhere else. So that's the main reason. And then you're talking about like, you know, you're not satisfying your schooling. Like, so the schooling is really strict. You can only miss like 3 days out of a year or something like that. And
Yeah,
you got to do makeup school, but after you do a certain makeup school, you have to pay for the makeup school. You got to pay the trainer or
yeah.
the teacher to go there and do the makeup school. But after you miss so many days after the makeup days, you got to start all over. Like you
Mm,
start your year all over.
wow.
So a lot of kids not
Yeah,
taking it.
because
A lot
when you
of
even
yeah,
when you were explaining that, that's the only thing that I'll be like, man, when life, you know what I'm saying, 'cause life do happens. Um,
yeah.
and I gotta
But
say
they
that's
also
that's
allow
the
you to
only
freeze
difficult part.
freeze
What
your
I'm
state
saying,
though.
huh? No, I said that's the only difficult part though. Is like, wow, you gotta do 5 years of school in 2 days a week.
Hmm.
And I'm like, man, I know for some people that can be tough, especially
It,
you
it
working all
is.
day and then got to go to
It
school.
is.
You got to do this for years and years and years. But if you make it
Yeah.
through that,
Yeah.
you just make it through that little fifth year and be a
Yeah.
journeyman, you're good. But the
Yeah.
thing
But
about it
like I
though,
said, you just
even like
can't
you
do
sold
it.
your no, even like you sold your certificate though, man, it's like, nah, that's rewarding right there. So even if
Yeah.
you get over that
Exactly.
hump, there's a lot of
Exactly.
benefits.
Yeah, I still got the video to this day of me walking across stage and getting mine. It's like it's something that I'll cherish for a long time because it was hard, man. Like
Mm.
you being out in the sun on the roof, you don't want to
Yeah.
go, teacher talk and lecture you all day for 3 or 4 hours. You don't want to hear
I
that,
wonder
man.
I
It's
wonder
just
what's the percentage though, of people starting and making it to that point of a journeyman.
I can't give you so I think like in our class when I first went in, I think like 50 to 60 students, and I think like 40 of us had graduated.
That's pretty good
Out of
right
our
there.
class. So that's pretty good. A lot of people, not saying that they quit, but they have to freeze for like medical reasons. They have freeze their year, so they freeze their standings. So therefore, you're not out of the union. You don't have to start all over. You can
Mhm.
freeze, say, in your third year. You have to freeze. You have a medical where you can't continue to go, or whatever your life challenges may come to where you can't finish the school. You can freeze at the third year, and then when you're ready to start up, you just start the third year and take off where you left off. But a
Yeah.
lot of people like, it's your backgrounds. If you do something like, you know, murder or something like that, I mean, just something um that's out of the range of normal, your
Mhm.
normal misdemeanors or anything
Yeah.
like that. That can be cause to get kicked out. You have to go in front of
Oh,
the
yeah.
board and things of that nature. So I mean, it's a lot to get kicked out of
So
the union,
so
man.
were they doing random background checks? Because most companies,
Well, if you work
or
for a
do you
company,
when
you
you
working
move
for a
to another
company
company?
already, but you just go missing. Like nobody don't know what happened.
Right,
You know what
right.
I mean? So if you're working for a company, you just go missing.
Now,
Don't nobody know where you at.
so with that being said, I'm saying this say if I'm working for a company, man, I get laid off. Do you got to restart the process when you this say I don't want to name the company that you with now, but this just say if I'm working for LBC heating and air conditioning, I get laid off from that company, then I go to
Hmm.
another company, I work for ABC air conditioning.
Hmm.
Do I got to retake a drug test with them? Do I got to do another background check with them? Each company that I'm on, or
Yes, yes.
okay.
So it's just a standard. It's like they operate like a standard business. Like if you leave, if you leave Washington AC and go to Johnson AC or something like that,
Mhm.
their normal boarding process is to do a background check, drug test. That's just their
Right.
background because they have to
That's
do that for
understood.
legal purposes.
Hmm.
So you have to do that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, but as far as random drug tests, like in the company I work for now, they're like, hey, your number was picked,
Hmm.
go, you have set 48 hours to go and take your drug test.
Hmm.
So, and that when it comes to drugs. So, like I said, I think it's 2 strikes and you're out when it comes to like drugs or whatever, or 3 strikes and you're out. I'm not sure. I don't know. I never had that experience. I don't know anybody that had that experience, but
Okay.
they're pretty strict when it comes to like drugs and random drug tests. Now they do that, but your company does that, not the union.
Okay. All right. So I guess that's pretty much covered those bases. So just far as why people don't last. So can you kind of share what can be done to increase the chances of success for those who want to join the union?
Yeah. So that goes back to what I was talking about when you're apprentice and you're starting out. Or I guess when you going into trying to get into the union, make sure that you're confident in yourself when it goes to interview. Interview is the most key part of your process of getting in. They have to believe in you as a person to become I guess I don't want to say a standard, but become a quality technician at the end of the day, because that's what they want to produce. That's what they're banking on. That's why people are paying premium for us to come on site, because
Mhm.
we have the extensive background of training. So, be confident in yourself going in, be a sponge. When you out with your journeyman, be a sponge, ask questions. I don't care how many questions they may be annoyed, but ask questions, because at the end of the day, they know their information. You don't. So you're trying to get to the point where they at. I wish there are some guys still to this day. I wish I could just go in and suck up what they know in their brain, because they know a lot of information, and it just took years to get in that. But and then so you go when you do that, just soak up all the knowledge, ask questions. I don't care how know what they are, ask questions, and and you kind of go from there.
Okay. Because you handled that interview process quite well. What kind of tips can you give? Did you do any kind of studying? Did you read a book? What prepped you for handling yourself so well in an interview process?
So first, I keep plugging my wife. My wife, she's like a English major, so she always corrected me on words or what
Mhm.
word to use. Well, you use this word and this word, in this sentence, or if you mean this. So my wife, played a big role. But I say the biggest role was, like I said, it goes back to my security job that I had at Atlanta Station. So people come in the mall, they ask for direction, they ask for questions. Like I got a couple of awards that I won for the security. So we had like these ladies come down from London, and they do like a hospitality training. So I think I was out there for 5 years. So I had 5 years of hospitality training. So I'm very good with customers, like customer support, customer service. Like I'm top notch. I get that a lot. I hear that a lot for every company the 2 companies I work with. I get
Mhm.
emails that people send in like Brandon was so nice and things of that nature. So when they have the problematic customers, um, I don't know why, but I'm usually the guy to go and have that, because they're picky, and I have they say I have the patience. I have the patience in front of you, but when I get home, I'm like, man, it's a big relief. But yeah, so coming from the security world, having to interact with people day in and day out for 8 hours a shift, that they helped me to be comfortable with dealing with people. If I didn't have that experience, I'll be a little shy. I ain't gonna even be honest.
Yeah.
I had that experience of dealing with people in different situations, hostile situations, people getting arrested for shoplifting and stuff like that. So, I had to deal with a lot of different situations. So that taught me a lot of how to handle myself, and it gave me a
Yeah.
patience. I'm a very patient person to begin
Mhm.
with, but
But it seemed
it taught
like
me a lot of patience.
that interview with the union, it seemed like that can be a little intimidating.
Oh, it
Uh,
is. It is.
yeah,
I ain't gonna hold you, but if you confident in yourself, and you
Mm-hmm.
believe in God, man, no fear can come against you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like take a
Well,
deep breath.
are they trying to make that environment feel like that? You know, like you
No,
say, the weed
no,
up.
no,
Mhm.
but it can be uncomfortable when you
Yeah,
got like 15 to 20 guys all
yeah.
staring at you. You know what I
Cause
mean? So
I ain't
that can
thought.
be interesting.
Yeah, I haven't even thought about that part of it. Like, cause I always speak, far on this channel, how to conduct yourself in an interview, but
Hmm.
that's in commercial with private owned business, and you're dealing with maybe the service manager and maybe a supervisor, and
Hmm.
maybe sometime a human resource manager or something like that. But it's never no more than 2 or 3 people, during
Right,
the
right.
interview process. Not
Yeah.
not that
So
many.
in my experience, like I said, I had like 15 to 20 people. I can't remember, but it was a long table
Wow.
with guys sitting around. And like I said, everybody's turning their chairs and they're
Mhm.
not rocking back and forth. They're literally sitting up staring at you
Mm.
and seeing your answer. They're getting the vibe of you because they also have to place you at different jobs. They know what jobs, look, you can
Yeah.
succeed in this job. So they try to put you in the place of success. But like I said, I was lucky. I was fortunate enough, and the owner to this day, I still talk to him. He signed off on my paperwork to get my license that I have now.
Yeah.
And I called him up. I called him directly. He was like, "Sure, just send me over the paper, like nothing." And he every time I call, he asks, "Are you coming home yet?" So he was like, "I always got a job for you here whenever you come back." So that stuff like that,
Mhm.
man, that's priceless. Like
Yeah.
I know I never know I will always know that I will never be without a job because I can just if I struggle here in Houston, God forbid, knock on wood, I can always go back to Atlanta and I can have a job. As long as he have his business, I always have a job. So
Yeah. But yeah, you creating job for yourself now though.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, man. So I mean, I think we can that pretty much answer all my questions in a way. We can go to the comments if you don't mind, and I'm
Yeah,
gonna
sure,
scroll
sure,
through the
sure,
comments. Maybe you can answer some of their questions that's in the
sure.
comments. So this will be the comment section, guys. Let me take this question down that I asked. If anybody got some questions for Brandon about the union, or um, it's your chance now to ask. Let me take this down real quick. And if anything else though you wanna that maybe we skipped or missed, Brandon, that you wanna.
Nah. So what was my question to you though? What was like I got two questions really quick.
Mhm.
You can just answer it really quick. But
Okay.
what was a turning point in your career? Like everybody have that turning point in their career.
That's a good question, man. I had one of that question down there for you too. Um, for me, man, I'm gonna say when I just felt that light bulb that turned on, be like, okay, I got this.
Hmm.
Um, I want to say maybe around my third year or something like that. It was a struggle, but I think that maybe the third year when I started running service calls on my own,
Yeah.
um, um, there's a bunch of failures. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I mean, I didn't know anything about HVAC or nothing like that.
Hmm.
But I say maybe around about that second, third year, I was like, nah, I can do this. Nah, this. Be honest with you, day one, man, I wanted this bad, man. Man, you just
Yeah.
don't know,
Yeah.
man. I wanted to be a HVAC technician. Um, like I say, it was hard. Um, I just couldn't wrap my head around, um, even with schematics, welding, brazing, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Just for the troubleshooting part of it. I started off in commercial, but maybe around that second and third year though, man, that's when it kind of okay, I got this. I can actually provide for my family and really make a career out of this. This is my future right here. I don't really want to do anything else but HVAC. Probably around that maybe
Yeah.
that third year. But I
Yeah.
always tell people too, up until my fifth year, man, I always had the attitude that I was always just a sponge. So even if I kind of knew some things, now if it was a guy that was younger than me or something like that, or what we call green guys or apprentices, or somebody that maybe if I was in my third year, they was in their first year,
Yeah.
I would kind of teach them things that I have learned. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
But if
yeah,
anybody that been doing this like the same amount of time that I've been doing it, or if they been doing this more than me, I would never, even if I felt they wasn't doing something the right way, I would never tell them, I w- I didn't want to be that guy to act like I knew,
yeah,
because
yeah,
sometimes I just felt sometime, if I try to tell somebody that been doing this a lot longer than me, I didn't want them to feel that, okay, he already know it all and don't need me trying to tell him something. So
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
always, I'm always that guy, man, that I always tell, man, about your first 5 years, even if you do know, just act like, don't act like you don't know, because that's affecting your pay too. But I always just be a sponge and just try to get a lot of
yeah,
things from different people and learn on your own. But I think around
yeah,
about the third year, man, that when it just clicking, I was like, nah, this for me. I'm gonna be a dog.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But that kind of you kind of answered my second question. I was kind of like, well, what was a humbling moment in your career? But I just wanted to piggyback. If you have anything to ask you the question, and like I said, the question was, what was a humbling moment in your career? So I can kind of answer these two questions like right now. So I got a mentor of mine is like a brother to me in Atlanta. So whenever I have any problems or whatever, I call him. He'll stay on the phone with me and figure it out. So when I came into Union, so I worked at a mom and pop shop, and I did like little split systems and stuff like on the side and stuff like that on my own. I never ran across anything major. So I came in hot, right? I was like, man, anything residential, man, I know it. I can do it. Like anything residential, like I'm a pro at that. But I ain't been doing HVAC for like 3 years at this point. So I'm like, man, I'm a pro, but it's me trying to project off more than what I am. So we was at this
Mhm.
this well-known tire shop where they make the airplane tires, and we was just going over. We were done with PM, but again, him investing in me, he was like, we could have just went in our trucks and we just chilled out for the rest of the 2 hours, whatever. But he was like, nah, let's go around to these units and let's read the schematic, and you're gonna figure out something. I'm going to mess with the unit. You're going to figure it out.
Mhm.
So we sent at the unit, and he said he was going through the thermostat. This I think I was like second year at this point. At this point, I should know what the regular, YG, RW, and everything is supposed to be.
Mhm.
There's one day I just had a brain fog. He said, "What's G?" I said, "Man, that's ground."
Mm.
And he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna ask you that again. What's the G terminal for?" I said, "Man, that's ground." Like I'm thinking in my head, I know it's fan, but I'm telling him ground.
Mhm.
Man, he kind of like went off on me. My wife hates this story to this day, but he went off on me. He was a brother just like me. He was like, he set me down, man. We had like a 3 hour conversation. He was like, man, you don't have the you can't afford to do simple mistakes like that, because when you do mistakes like that, they hold it accountable. They hold you accountable 2 times more as your counterparts. So that was my humbling moment. Like,
Mhm.
calm down. You don't know everything. You don't
Yeah.
have to know everything.
Mhm.
Like, calm down. You know the answer, but calm down. So after that point on, man, it was just like a turning point and a humbling moment at the same time. I took it a lot. I took it serious before, but I took a
Mhm.
lot more serious then. And when I'm working with counterparts and stuff like that, I make sure I'm on point. I'm going the extra mile to learn. That's when I was introduced to the YouTube world and all that type of stuff. So that was like my humbling moment. Just I knew G was for fan, but I kept
Mhm.
saying ground, because you're thinking, I don't know why I said ground, but I was like, man, ground. I knew it for sure. Just like I was certain in the interview, I was certain that was ground. So, and he went off on me, and to this day, I still appreciate the conversation. My wife hate that conversation, that story, but I appreciate it because for me, it was something that I needed. I needed to be humble in that way.
Right.
Uh,
Yep.
so that's my story.
No, no, thank you for sharing that, man. Um, let's get into some of the comments.
All right.
Let me see. This was earlier. Steven said he can hear me. Uh, Patrick says, sounds good, Northeast Houston. All right, shout out to Patrick. He said Union, he entered for a chance to win the top tees. Also, Dixon Mosley. We got Stephen Covington. Beginner experts say pro, we in here. All right. So I'm just giving shout outs right now. Shout
Yeah,
out
yeah,
to
that's cool.
beginner expert. We got Carrie in the house. Edwin. He say, what up, HVAC people? What up, Edwin? Phil say how's it going? Walter, what's going on, Phil? I think this question for you. Yeah, this question gonna be for you here, Brandon. Were you mechanically inclined at the beginning? I
A
think
little
you.
bit, yeah.
Mhm,
So, like my dad, we had a lawn service. So we had to, fix our equipment if it break down. I'll help my dad, like change the oil in the trucks or and things that nature. So I knew what tools were,
mhm,
like a basic hand tool, like a wrench, crescent wrench, pliers, and stuff like that. So I knew about that. But the great thing about being in a union, man, you don't have to know none of that. Yeah, like
mhm,
you don't have to know what no tools is. Your first year, they'll teach you what certain tools. Like I didn't know. I think we call it a pipe wrench, but I think the correct terminology is like a monkey wrench or something like that.
mhm.
I don't
Yeah,
know, but I didn't know that. So, but the great thing about being in the union is about you don't have to know any of that. So yes, I was a little mechanically inclined a little bit. I know with my basic hand tools, but
yeah, and I
that's as
think that's
far as
why
I know.
Patrick may be asking that question. Maybe he may not be mechanically inclined, so don't let that shy away
No.
from getting into the
Yeah,
HVAC
like I
trade
said
and
before,
joining
I
the
had a
union.
coworker that didn't know where a pair of channel locks was. He didn't know what somebody say go grab a pair of channel locks. He didn't know what that was, but yet he's in his career. He's a project manager. He's been these big jobs, so you don't have to know anything. That's the great thing about union. Like I said, man, I want to reiterate. I've been talking a lot about union. I don't want to give no downplay to people like you and other companies that has like non-union job. A union ain't the only way to get what you need. But I'm just trying to help you as far as financial wise and financial freedom. I know we all talk about that.
Right.
This is a way to do it.
No, I
Financial
appreciate
freedom
that,
is
man.
is
No,
is, is
this
the easy
show
way.
right here, like I say, I have no dog in the fight either. You know what I'm saying? To each his own. I always tell people, whatever it takes to get your foot in the door, go for it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So, nah, I'm a big supporter of a union, even though I never worked for a union. Like I say, I work with a lot of guys side by side that work for the union. We used to, you know what I'm saying, have meetings every day.
hmm
They always spoke good about the union. So
yeah,
so I'm a big advocate of the union. So that's why I'm glad you was able to join the show. You know what I'm saying, and maybe answer some of these questions for people that like me don't know too much about the union. But like I said, I have no dog in the fight. You know what I'm saying. So
right.
even if I want to play devil advocate right now, you know, uh, as far as what I hear about the union, you know what I'm saying. I really don't hear too many bad things. Like I say, my the only part and I can see why as I get older, I can see why some people will detour away from the union. It's just the long payoff, it seems like, just far as the first second you got to go to school,
Yeah, but
at
they
night.
don't. For people like you don't. You like I said, it goes back to where you can just test in. You don't have to do the
Mhm.
schooling.
Yeah.
So that's the great thing about that too as well. You don't have to do the school because a lot of guys hear school and they're like, "Oh man, I don't want to go to school." If you
Mhm.
feel like you know knowledge, test in. And maybe you
Yeah.
can only do 1 or 2 years of schooling
Yeah.
versus 5 years of schooling, and that's better. And like I said, you're not paying for it. It
But
takes a
see,
dedication and commitment, but
it's dedication and commitment, and that's what it's about because you know what I'm saying, man. In the long run, though, like I say, y'all are sharp guys. I always
yeah,
preach, man, the training, man. Even if you get a job with a regular company, mom and pops, they're not gonna really put you in that training like that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
It's gonna kind of stunt your growth a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
They probably can start you off at a higher pay or whatever
Yeah,
sometimes, but
yeah. I have
it's
I
gonna
have
stunt your
leveraging
growth.
power when it comes to that because I'm skilled from training. I mean I have it. I have my training here, like UA, like the star ratings and all that. Like I'm ready for all that. That comes with this and stuff like that.
Mhm,
So I have the credentials to say this is why I'm asking for what I'm asking for. I can justify that with not only with just my skills, but if you got customer service, because a lot of the guys in the day they really good at their work, but they're not great with dealing with customers. I have
mhm,
both. Like you can send me in front of anybody, and I'm not trying to big myself up or anything like that. But this just me taking pride in my skill and my knowledge and my career to where you can send me in front of any customer. We're talking about multi-million-dollar customers or Fortune 500 business that I'm going into. I keep myself groomed. or whatever. I work out and things like that. You know, I keep myself presentable. You can send me in front of anybody, anytime to do any work. What else you want? I can go anywhere. So I'm leveraging my knowledge, my company.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's gonna be kind of weird. My company needs me more than I need them at this point. You know, I got a leveraging part. I hope that didn't come off wrong
No,
for
no, no, not
anybody.
at all. Not at all.
But you know, with
Mhm.
my skill set
Yeah.
is in demand, so I can
Mhm.
go anywhere, anytime. But I'm a loyal person. I don't like to move around the company to company.
Yeah.
In my whole HVAC career, I worked for three companies: one mom and pop, one company in
Yeah.
Atlanta, and then one company here. Like I don't like that moving
No,
around.
people
Like
people with experience in the trade that's been doing this for a while and got the qualification that you have, they know exactly what you're saying. Maybe somebody
right,
that just starting, I feel may take that the wrong way, but no,
right,
we always preach, man. Like I told you, once that light bulb do click and be like, I
yeah,
got this, and then you got the certifications to back it up. No,
hmm
you can write your own check,
yeah.
pretty much.
I don't care what happened. Nobody can ever take this away from me. Like, I
Yeah.
can get fired from any job, but you cannot take this away from me. I
Mhm.
have this. I did this on my own.
Yeah.
So you can't take that away from me. No matter what you do, what company, like I have that.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go through some of the we got Jesus disciples say union. Let me see. What is the journeyman rate over there? I guess he's speaking on Houston. I think
So I think I don't get me wrong on this. So I think the going rate per hour is just basic. Like you're not a chiller tech or anything like that. I think it's like around anywhere from $34 to $37 an hour,
okay.
somewhere in that area, or $38 an hour. I don't know exactly what it is. To the rate. So I'm overscale, so I'm not
All
exactly
right.
sure what the rate is.
All right. Real estate say what up? He says raining in Texas. Yeah, well, I don't know.
It was raining over here
Raining
in
on your end?
Pearland earlier. Yeah,
Okay.
Pearland it was earlier, but I don't think it is now.
King Cooper say what up? Let's eat. King Cooper says it's master over foreman. I think in some parts of
So
the
there's
world.
no such thing as foreman. I don't know what masters are. What are you talking
Yeah,
about? Like master's degree or?
well, masters this far, and some parts of the country say master, and here in Texas we say your contractor license.
Mhm.
So they can, so I think I don't really know. So I
So
some
a
things as
form,
far as
just a
foreman is
uh,
this. I think that's the highest uh that you can go in
So
far as the union
it's a general foreman is
general
like
foreman.
you're running construction site. So
Hmm.
when the GC comes to you, general contractor comes something for your company, he comes to you. When they having a meeting, they come to you. So you're the representative for the company that you work for. So the general foreman is another. So the foreman is actually on the floor with the guys. The general foreman is handling all the paperwork, all the safety meetings, all that type of stuff, if that makes sense. So
Yeah,
the foreman is when you have an issue, you know, you go talk to the foreman, call the foreman over. Hey, this is what we got. What's your plan of action?
yeah.
And that's a foreman. So
So I'm gonna answer his question in the way I see it. As far as
okay,
I think, if you got your contractor license, which Brandon he does has a contractor license, uh, you able to own your own business. So I think
mhm,
personally, if you got your master's or your contractor license, you kind of over a foreman, but that's not the case also. Because what are we talking about? Are we talking about who's going to make the most money, who's got the most rank, who's got the most pull? Obviously, you got your contractor license. I mean, you the boss of your own
right,
business. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Because whoever has that contractor license, he's pretty much over that foreman.
hmm
You know, um, but if you go out there on your own, you know what I'm saying, a farmer can make a lot more money than a contractor, or you have your masters.
hmm
But with that being said, though, if you got your contractor license, don't mean just say if a farmer making $80,000 a year, don't guarantee when you get your license, you're gonna be able to go out there and make $80,000 a year.
right,
There's
right,
a lot more things you got to put in place. You got to get your phone in the ring. You got to market. You know what
hmm
I'm saying? So that's a kind of a hard question to answer. I think it's to the individual person.
Yeah. If you want to put more clarification on that, you can just type in and we'll try to answer to the
Yeah.
best of our knowledge.
Say what's the name of his company and where I came in late. So his company is BDA. That's BDA Heating and Cooling, right?
Yes, BDA Heating and Cooling. So this
BD,
brand new
BDA Heating
company
and
as
Cooling.
of December 8th. I'm officially BDA Heating and Cooling LLC. So that's us. That's me.
Yeah, I'm shout you out again, man.
I
Congratulations.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
yeah. So Darren say he emailed
Oh,
me the
hey,
link.
Houston, Texas. He said where at? And I'm in Houston as well.
Yeah, he's located in the Houston and surrounding areas. Houston and surrounding areas. Uh, so yes, he that's the answer to his question.
Yes,
Also, yeah,
yes,
he's a business owner.
yes.
He was asking why not work for yourself. Do you want to answer that?
So that's the eventually the plan. But the luxury I have right now, I'm in no rush. I work for a full-time company, so I don't have to, quit my job right now and go and work. I the plan is to eventually work for myself, but it's kind of be like your route. You go and work for a full-time company. Once you get off, you go and run one or two service calls. The weekends, you go and run multiple service calls. So that's my plan going forward, is to work for my full-time job. And once I get enough clientele, enough business to go out on my own, then that's when I'll make that transition
Yeah.
to go out on my own. So
All right. So Rock say shout out. I'm gonna go ahead and post this right here, but man, this right here will get you banned. We don't even need to go there. You know what I'm saying? King Cooper. You know what I'm saying? You're a good supporter of the channel. I don't know what that's derived from. You know, we're gonna go ahead and move on to your next question. He said, get it from the mud, skills over everything. That is. I
absolutely,
totally agree.
you appreciate it a lot more.
Yeah. So underdog champ 314 say really good advice.
Hey man, I appreciate it. I hope you got something for me.
Yeah.
So
Miss said, what up, H-back people? All right, Miss. And we got Sam Andrew. Shout out to Sam Andrew, say union. Sam Andrew, hey man, you left a comment talking about Matches Mac, and you say, did I take that the wrong way? No, not at all, man. I didn't I wish I could pull that comment you made up, but at the end of my latest video, I think I say I hope these tips save you money. And he say if anybody caught that, he gave a nod to Matches Mac. And I replied to his comment, this a little known fact. Um, that's probably how I should have led off. But I think I just said Matthew Mack was born in Mississippi. That's just a little known fact. Matthew Mack, he from Mississippi, Starksville, Mississippi, to be exact. And he was staying in Gulfport, Mississippi. And he really came to Houston, Texas with little or nothing in his pocket, man. He like a multi-millionaire now. You know what I'm saying? I think he worth over 300 some million. So you know what I'm saying? So dog man, shout out to Matthew Mac, man. That's an inspiration to me, you know what I'm saying? Because I just feel we started from the, kind of like the same way. Even if you see my shirt, you see Mississippi and Texas, you know what I'm saying? That's where I come from. Mississippi and Texas. So I know how it is, you know what I'm saying, from actually that's how I got here, man. I didn't have I ain't had nothing but a full tank of gas and a couple dollars in my pocket, you know what I'm saying? Every little thing I own, you know what I'm saying? I packed in that Suburban and I came here, didn't have a job, didn't have anything. Met my wife here, you know what I'm saying? And really started from the mud, you know what I'm saying? Just like King Cooper said, getting it from the mud, I really got it from the mud, you know what I'm saying? And but that's a Matthew Mac dig too, you know what I'm saying? So it's inspiration to me. So I didn't take your words out of context, Sam Andrew, you know what I'm saying? Um, that just motivated me. Well, but that's me and Sam Andrew got going on, man. But I didn't take it out of context. You know what I'm saying? So shout out Sam Andrew. MC WZZ HVAC people. I'm soaking it in. All right, downtown. Okay, downtown in for a chance to win. All right. Kerry say, congratulations, Steven. Yep. Shout out to Steven, man, for winning the anemometer. Mr. McCann say, what it do? Wow. What up, Mr. McCann? Mr. McCann, union in my area works same local 5, local 602, and ETC. I have no idea what that means. Can you elaborate on that a little bit, Brandon?
etc. So I think he was saying like his unions are the same. So he has two unions in his area. local 5 and local 602. They may be
Mhm.
two different entities, or
Okay.
they may be the same, do the same thing. So he was just saying basically they do the same thing. Probably, if, for what I'm taking from it, they kind of go through the same procedure as far as the first year, second year, apprentices. Like the steps I told you, they probably do the same thing, and that the ETC is like etc.
Okay. So, Miss
I guess
Candace,
I'm assuming.
yeah, Miss Candace, have you ever worked for the union? Leaving the comment. Have you ever worked for the union, or do you still work for the union? All right. So we're gonna get ready to wrap this up and answer 3 more comments.
Mhm.
Is it, and Sam Andrews say, is any age too old to start with the union? What if you wanted to change careers?
Absolutely not. I had a guy in my class, 65 years old. 65 years old, and he was going through the first year, second year. So it's there's no age limit on it as far as getting in that I am aware of. I know he was 65, and
Mm,
we was all shocked that he's going through it, but more power to you. I hope at 65, I hope to be doing the same. At least not. I hopefully I'll be retired by then. Doing my work, but
mm,
kudos to anybody. Kudos to him for going through the life thing.
yeah. All right. Shout out to Mr. McCown. He say that schooling is priceless, man. I agree, man. I
Yeah,
agree. I agree. I wish
you
it was.
learn so much.
I bet. I bet. And yeah. Uh, Ashton say he worked for the union in Tallahassee, Florida. What up,
Mhm.
Ashton, man? He been a long time subscriber of the show, man. I appreciate it, man. So you with the union too, man. So Ashton, you want to come on and we can do another union. Let me see. Let me see. Been in it he say he been in it for 5 years. He's 25 years old, currently working for the
Yeah.
RE union company. Really wish I could have started off with the union, but it's not common in the panhandle.
Yeah,
Okay.
that goes back to the
I'm sorry, I'm
marketing. People
sorry.
don't know about it
Mhm.
like that. So it's
Yeah.
just like they're trying to push it now. They're going to your schools and stuff like that. They're going to where like younger kids are to try to push the union and trades and stuff like that. They're starting to do that, but you can't compete with like your other industry or non-union companies. You can't excuse me, you can't compete with them at this moment.
Mhm.
But they're starting to come up and do a lot of marketing. But marketing is key. Without marketing, you nobody know. I just so happened to stumble across it. That's how I got in.
Okay. So this is a question for you, Brandon. Have you have experience, I guess, building automation to DDC? Uh, you can answer that question. So are y'all this far as the union though? Um, when you go to that building, do y'all have your own BAS guys, or you kind of need to know how to work on everything in there?
So we know how to work on pretty much everything. And then when you talk about when programming and stuff like that, no, we don't do that.
Yeah.
Like the company I work for, they have an actual control company. If we have our
Mhm.
controls in there,
Right.
that we have our controls company to control guys come in and troubleshoot like the writing the programs and troubleshooting stuff like in there.
Mhm.
But as far as troubleshooting actuators and things of that nature with BAS, yeah, we got to know if it's volts DC or volts AC, um, you know, power open, power closed. We have to know those things. So we do work on it. Um, but we have to have the computer logged in. We could just do general stuff like open
Right.
it and close the damper and actuator things that nature. Perfect example. When was it? Day before yesterday. Day before yesterday, I went to a law firm downtown, and I had to work on a water source heat pump. So, quick story: the when the unit came on, it was going off a high head pressure. We couldn't figure out, the strainer was dirty. I cleaned the strainer, put the strainer back in, but it was still going off a high head pressure. My incoming water was 70 degrees from my cooling tower, but yet it was still going off on high head pressure. Well, we find out the actuator, it was a three-way valve, which is a part of, your piping and stuff like that. Everybody know what a three-way valve is. You have a bypass and you have where it flows through the coil. Well, the valve for the three-way for the actuator was actually backwards. So I had to troubleshoot the actuator, make sure the actuator was working, make sure it was getting the signal to open and close. But come to find out the three-way valve, the actual valve was wrong. So when it called for coolant, it was going into bypass, and when it shut off, it would go through the coil. So
Mm.
yes, we do work on that. Long
Okay.
story short.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it, man. We're gonna get ready to wrap this thing up, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you for joining us tonight,
I appreciate you for having
everybody.
me.
No, listen to your inspiring story, Brandon, and we hope that they gain a lot of knowledge. I know some people have, man, and then this content I always be on YouTube, so the people that want to type in union, I'm sure we'll pop up, and and we'll see. We got one more question. As Frank said, he's sorry, Mister. So that's why I say now we can always come back and check it out if you're interested in the union.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. If you ever want to have any more questions,
mhm.
and or you just want to have a co-host, I don't mind. I enjoyed it. This is my first one ever, kind of like a
Okay.
live chat podcast. So I
Okay.
appreciate you giving me the opportunity and breaking me in with that. I thought I was gonna be super nervous, but you made it feel so comfortable. So I appreciate that. So I don't mind coming on at any time. Just to hop on. I'll try to hop on. I usually try to catch the shows, but I usually catch them late, so
Right.
it'd be about over.
No problem, man. Shout out to Kerry, man, for the 49 super chat, man. He said we did a good job. I say
Appreciate
appreciate
it,
it,
Gary.
man. And Brandon,
Appreciate it.
we wish you a lot of success, man. Your future's endeavor. And look, hey, now you welcome to join the show anytime, man. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed you, man. You look like you've been doing it for years, man. You got your headphones. I hear you good. You got
Yeah.
good lighting. And yeah,
Yeah.
got
Thanks.
the pro
Thanks so
already.
much. I'll tell my wife thank you. I got to buy some flowers or something. So she got me set up right.
Okay, yeah, she did a good job then, man. So
Yeah.
salute,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
All right.
So we're gonna go ahead and end this, man. Like I say, appreciate it, man. And
Thank you.
just stay tuned in the background. I'm getting ready to wrap it up. And
Okay.
man, we appreciate it, man. Hey y'all, hey everybody, thanks for watching, man. And like I say, well, Stephen already know my email address. I'm actually for the get on with Stephen here in a minute. We're gonna talk a little bit about Sunday show. So remember, y'all, we'll be having a Sunday show at about 6:45 Sunday. It'll be me and Stephen, and also if Brandon and any of y'all guys want to come on that show, y'all more than welcome, man. We're gonna chop it up for a little while. Like I say, I want to keep these shows about an hour and a half, man. There's so much information we can talk about. We really could be in here 5 or 6 more hours. You know what I'm saying? But it's already 2 hours and 30 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead and get ready to wrap this one up. Like I say, I'm gonna put all the links in the description. So if y'all want to join Jobber March 1st, man, y'all stay tuned for that. Like I say, they're gonna be doing a lot of giveaways. Y'all see Brandon, he won a lot of money just by entering, a chance to win with Jobbers. So whenever I mention, a chance to win some, or if they are hosting some type of event, or you can get a percentage in a discount, it really is worth it. You know what I'm saying? So y'all stay tuned for that. Like I say, and then like I say, Top Tees, they sending me some more gas valves, gas leak detectors that they're a lot better than the other ones. Well, I ain't gonna say a lot better, but they got a they nice. They nice. And also I'm gonna do a review by Ellie Tech. Ellie Tech got some new gauges that haven't hit the market yet. So I'll be excited to review those also. So like I say, man, it'd be some sponsors that's reaching out to me, man, but I'm not gonna take on any sponsorship that's not gonna add value to this show. So like I say, man, I appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight, man. And I enjoyed this one, man. So y'all got any more questions about the union? If y'all want to, if it's something that y'all forgot to ask tonight, go ahead and y'all can ask that. I look forward to seeing y'all Sunday also, man. We're gonna keep this thing. But Sunday will be the last show though, probably to the Christmas break and after the New Year. So man, I enjoyed y'all, man. And all right, peace. Hey Brandon, I'm gonna see you. I appreciate it, Brandon. I'm gonna talk to you later, man. Send me your you got my email address, Brandon? Yeah, email me your address, man. I'm gonna send it to you. Go to the private chat, man.